Rochester Raging Rhinos Soccer on the WISL Rhinos Radio Network. Welcome to Rhinos Soccer on WISL 1040 and WISL1040.com live on the web. Now, it's the Rhinos pregame show.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Rochester Raging Rhino Soccer, coming tonight live from Frontier Soccer Stadium. It's match day 23 for your Rhinos, and it's the fourth match in the upstate New York local derby between the Rhinos and the Syracuse Salty Dogs. This is Andrew Battisti, your host for the Nextel Direct Connect pregame show. Don't forget, after the match, you can join myself and the birthday boy, Soccer Sam. Yes, it is Soccer Sam's 29th birthday all over again. Wish him a happy birthday if you see him tonight on the field or walking around the stands. And we'll have Sam and myself on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct, after the match with player interviews and your chance to talk about tonight's contest. Rochester left A-League play behind on Wednesday, turning their attention to the U.S. Open Cup, hosting the Charleston Battery in the quarterfinals. The defending A-League champ season was on the line as the team was certain to miss the playoffs for the first time ever. The team just recording only 3 wins all year in the league. But in the Cup, it was a different story for the Battery. 2 wins and no goals allowed, including a 1-0 win over the Metro Stars in round 4. And the Rhinos' only U.S. Open Cup match against a league opponent was a 1-0 loss at Frontier to Hershey back in 2001. But on the good side for the Rhinos, Charleston never won at Frontier in their history, 0-6-2. Something had to give on Wednesday. Battery play-by-play man Andrew Bell said in our pregame show that an early goal would be the key to the match. Well, how right he was. In the 6th minute, the Battery stunned the over 7,000 in attendance with the opening tally. It was a former Rhino who returned the trick. Justin Evans controlled the ball in midfield, 35 yards out, and chipped a high ball to the top of the box for Gabe Valencia. The former Rhino leaped for the ball as Theo Zager came off his line to collect the floater. Gabe got to it first and headed over Theo, and it settled in the back of the net and gave the visitors the lead. The Rhinos found themselves in the same position they did with New England, down a goal early. Fans encouraged the Rhinos to come back, and the team did take control of play. That would continue throughout the rest of the contest. In the 14th minute, Sean Sekiris was fouled by Paul Conway, resulting in a free kick from 30 yards. Chris Carrier's shot deflected off the wall and nearly went in for an own goal. It was just pushed aside by keeper Dusty Hudick. Then 2 minutes later, Carrier again with a golden opportunity, receiving a pass from Kirk Wilson right at the penalty spot, but his shot rocketed off the crossbar and back into play. The Rhinos returning to action was Ian Fuller. He missed the last couple of months due to an injury, but he was back and he nearly equalized on 2 occasions, just missing head ball attempts. The Rhinos had an 8-2 shot advantage in the first 45, but it was still Battery 1, Rhino 0 at the break. In the second half, Corey Woolfolk had a great chance in the 48th minute. He got loose in the box, moved around a couple defenders, and took a shot. It appeared to be knocked down by a member of the Battery's right or left arm, but there was no call on the play. The match continued without the penalty. Coach Eckley inserted Yari Allnut in the contest in the second half, the 1999 Cup hero. He was all over the field in the second half. Battery coach Chris Ramsey countered with former Rhino Greg Simmons to even more size to their lineup. The Rhinos continued to press forward looking for the equalizer, earning a total of 10 corners in the match, but they could not convert on the set pieces as the big back line of Charleston controlled the air the entire way. Coach Eckley rolled the dice in the latter stages, putting in Pato Aguilera and Doug Miller and going with 3 forwards up top. But even with an 18-9 shot advantage over 90 minutes, most of the Rhinos' chances were off target. Just 3 saves in the contest for Dusty Hudick. The final chance of the match came late in stoppage time. John Wilson, the former Battery player, played extremely well against his former side. He put an acrobatic cross into the 6-yard box for Yari Allnut, but his header was saved by Hudick. The final whistle blew, and the Rhinos were stunningly eliminated from the U.S. Open Cup by Charleston, 1-0. Coach Chris Ramsey, who played in the FA Cup final in 1983 for Brighton and Hove Albion, raced out of the field and celebrated with his team. The victory may have saved his job, as the 3 Cup wins for Charleston equals their number of victories so far in the regular season. Amazing. The Battery will play the Chicago Fire, the Cup holders, in the semifinals on August 25th in the Windy City. The stats for the Rhinos, Chris Carriere still leads the team with 6 goals and 7 assists. That's tops in the A-League in the assist category. 19 points, tied for 7th. Corey Woolfolk stands second, 7 goals, 1 assist, 15 points. Kirk Wilson, Pato Aguilera, and Doug Miller all have 8 points. Theo Zagar stands 4th in the A-League with a 0.87 goals against average. Well, Charleston comes back to Frontier on Sunday for a 6:05 contest. It's Rex the Rhino's birthday. It's also your last chance to see your Rhinos for about 2.5 weeks, as the Rhinos will go on their final road trip of the season, going down to Charleston 1 week from tonight at Blackbaud Stadium, and then a big match with the Atlanta Silverbacks on Sunday, the 15th of August, and the Rhinos will have 10 days off. Amazing, and the Rhinos will actually have that long a time off for the final 2 games of the season at Frontier. Atlanta comes to town on the 25th of August, and we end the season with Montreal on Friday, August 27th. When we come back on the Nextel Direct Connect pregame show, we'll look at our opponents this evening, the Syracuse Salty Dogs. This is the Rhinos Radio Network. Andrew Battisti back here at Frontier Soccer Stadium with the Nextel Direct Connect pregame show. When your phone has a walkie-talkie, you're instantly more productive. No more voicemail and no more phone tag. Just instant access to all the people you need. Every Nextel phone comes with a built-in walkie-talkie feature, and that gives you increased productivity at the push of a button. And even better, it works from coast to coast. Call 350-2000 for more details. We'll be kicking it off in about 25 minutes here from Frontier, so plenty of time for you to come down if you're so inclined. The Rhinos and the Syracuse Salty Dogs in this upstate New York derby should be a great contest tonight from the Flower City. This year's been a roller coaster ride for our opponents tonight, the Salty Dogs. They started off strong, just like they did their first season, 3-0-2 in their first 5 matches, and they qualified for their first ever U.S. Open Cup. Then a rash of injuries hit the visitors. The Syracuse team went 1-7-1 in their next 9 matches, and they lost to Columbus in the U.S. Open Cup 2-1 at Crew Stadium. The few new faces and the veterans coming back has really helped the Syracuse team make a run at the playoffs. They've won 7 in a row to move themselves into 5th place in the Eastern Conference, 11 wins, 7 losses, and 3 ties. They're very much in contention for their first ever playoff berth. Syracuse's offense has been pretty balanced this year, different players stepping up at different times during the year. Right now there's a 3-way tie for first place on the team and scoring 11 points for the following 3 players. Chris Doré, 3 goals and a team-high 5 assists. That's second in the A-League behind Chris Carrieri. But he's not scored since June 11th. The tall and fast Jamaican Michelle Millwood has 4 goals and 3 assists. He's just come back from injury. Top goal scorer with 5 is Anthony Mayer. He also has an assist for 11 points, but he is suspended for tonight's match. In midfield, we'll see Englishman Ian Rowan along with another Englishman, a UK member, Jonathan Steele, a youngster from Ireland, just 18 years of age. Also, former Rhino Timox Suarez has been hampered by injuries. He is always in the 18-man roster tonight. We may see him if Coach Callaway decides to give him a shot tonight against his former team. Another familiar name to watch tonight, Rene Rivas. He's teaming up in the back with Ryan Hall, who was on the A-League Team of the Week. However, Captain Scott Schweitzer, the former Rhino, is also suspended for tonight's match. In goal, Paul Nagy has been replaced by Byron Foss, who was on loan from the Colorado Rapids. He is also a member of the A-League Team of the Week. And he has also been in goal for the Salty Dogs in their 7-game winning streak, and has allowed just 4 goals in those 7 wins. GM Tommy Tanner has also brought in some new names to help the Dogs' playoff chances, including Argentinian Mauro Carabayal, came over from the West Michigan edge of the PDL. He has 2 goals and an assist, and Attila Vende came over from the Atlanta Silverbacks. He already has scored 3 game-winning goals for the Salty Dogs. Another youngster besides Jonathan Steele coming over from the UK is Matthew Barnes-Homer. We may see him up top tonight. Salty Dogs' most recent match was against the Rhinos back on Sunday at PNC Stadium. Wasn't too many chances in the first half until the 41st minute. Tim O'Neill, midfielder, lofted the ball into the box for Carabayal. He appeared to be well offside, but the flag stayed down, and it was an easy goal for Carabayal, made it 1-0 to the Salty Dogs. But the Rhinos tied things 4 minutes later. It was Yari Alnut and Neto working at 1-2. That freed Yari for a run up the middle. He was taken down by a trio of defenders at the top of the box, but the ball squirted free to Doug Miller, and he buried it from 16 yards. Miller's first goal since June 17th to tie the match at 1-1. Let's go back to Sunday night and hear the goal call from Don Stevens.
Here's Allnut, down to the 18, moving in, triple team, taken down, no call, there's the shot, they score! It bounced loose to Doug Miller, to the right side, Miller with the left foot, chips it in under the crossbar, as the Rhinos come back and even it up. Allnut taken down in a triple team, and the ball squirts loose to Miller, who puts it away.
Well, the match was decided in the 76th minute as a Syracuse corner came to Anthony Mayer. The pass he had took a funny bounce forward off the plastic right to Vende, and his shot from 15 yards dipped over Theo Zagar under the crossbar, and the Solid Dogs went on to a 2-1 victory. This is the fourth of 4 matches between these two teams this year, the most matches that the Rhinos play against a single opponent. Back at PNC on the 14th of May, it was a 1-1 draw. Chris Doray's goal canceled out by a Corey Woolfolk tally. Then on May 22nd, Doug Miller had the only goal in the 77th minute, 1-0 to the Rhinos. Syracuse leads the all-time series between these teams, 3 wins, 2 losses, and a pair of draws. Looking at tonight's match, it may not be a must-win for the Rhinos based on points and standings. Rhinos, if they lose, will still have a good shot at making the playoffs, but this match could make or break the Rhinos' season mentally. After the crushing loss to the Battery on Wednesday, how will the Rhinos come out in this contest? The mental aspect is going to be so key this evening, especially with Syracuse on the roll that they are on with 7 straight victories. Some key injuries for the Rhinos tonight. Carlos Mendez will miss tonight's match. He had an injury to his quadricep in the Open Cup match, and he will miss tonight's match. He may be back, though, on Sunday. Neto, however, is seriously injured. We may not see Neto for the rest of the season. We'll have to see what happens as we go on, but Neto will obviously not be in the lineup tonight. Also missing is Sean Sekiris. He is suspended due to too many yellow cards tonight, but back in the lineup, Rhinos welcome back Bill Sedgwick. He missed the last 2 matches due to an A-League suspension and a U.S. Open Cup suspension. With Rhinos missing Sean Sekiris, the question is who will step up in the midfield and control the play. Those Solid Dogs let's play an English style, like long ball, looking for Michelle Millwood, the big Jamaican. Rhinos can control the midfield. That will be a big step to take home 3 points tonight. Rene Rivas has been pretty much the midfield general for the Solid Dogs, but with Scott Schweitzer suspended, Rene's going to have to move back into the back 4, so that leaves a gap in the midfield. So someone from the Dogs are going to have to step up and play that quarterback role in the center of the park. Keeper Byron Foss is having a tremendous season for the Salty Dogs. He has won the last 7 matches for Syracuse. He's a very big keeper, 6'5". The Rhinos, like they did against Joe Warren of Minnesota, who was also a big keeper, they need to keep the ball low. Rhinos' goals were against Minnesota. The 2 they scored were both along the ground. Warren could not get down for them. The Rhinos need to do that again and not try to play the ball high, which will be Foss's strength. Syracuse tends to play a very physical game, as we well know. How closely will the referees call tonight's match? If it's very close, that could be an advantage for the Rhinos, but if they let the play go on, a lot of physicality, that could be Syracuse's forte. And finally, the Rhinos played on Wednesday night in that Open Cup match. Syracuse has been preparing for this match all week. See how that affects play tonight. And coming up next on the Nextel Direct Connect pregame show, we'll tell you what's been going on in the A-League over the past week. This is the Rhinos Radio Network. Welcome back to the Nextel Direct Connect pregame show. Andrew Batista here at Frontier. Don Stevens and Joe Giuliano will have the call of Rhino Soccer. 15 minutes from kickoff. Rhinos and the Syracuse Solid Dogs tonight here in the Flower City. The electronic version of the cheap seats. Join the Rhinos fans in the chat room at the official Rhinos website, www.rhinosoccer.com. Cheer the team on during all away and home matches this year. Chat room is absolutely free. Brought to you by Spinning Webs Internet and PC Services, the official website provider of the Rochester Raging Rhinos. The key match in the Eastern Conference on Sunday is Atlanta hosted Richmond. The Kickers got started in the 2nd minute. Matt Delicott stole the ball and crossed to Kevin Jeffrey, who beat Joe Barton to make it 1-0. In the 22nd minute, the Silverbacks went 2 down as Jordy Broder took down Joey Worthen in the box for a PK. It was KJ, Kevin Jeffrey, with his 2nd goal of the match, sending Barton the wrong way, 2-0 to the Kickers. The Backs got one back in the 53rd minute after Philippe Godoy was fouled in the box. Matt Cozier's penalty was saved by Ronnie Pascal, but the rebound went right back to Cozier, who scored his 11th of the year to make it 2-1, but that was the final score. Big victory for the Kickers. Seattle played the first of 2 in Alberta on Sunday facing Calgary. The Mustangs stunned the Sounders with 2 first-half goals from Damir Jesic in the 12th minute and Mesut Mert in the 32nd. The visitors tried to come back, but Calgary, coming off a 1-1 tie at first place Vancouver on Friday, was too strong to ice the match in stoppage time. Jesic with his 2nd goal of the match. The Mustangs with a surprisingly easy 3-0 victory over the Seattle Sounders. Next night was a holiday in Canada. Seattle took on host Edmonton FC. This time it was the Sounders with 2 first-half goals. Ben Somoza in the 14th and Welton in the 27th. Edmonton cut the lead in half in the 39th minute through Kurt Bosch, but Seattle keeper Preston Burpo was solid in the net. He turned away all further chances, and the Sounders picked up 3 points with a 2-1 win. Another holiday tilt up in Canada was in Toronto as the Lynx tried to keep their slim playoff hopes alive against Virginia Beach, who also needed some points badly. Homeside took the lead in the 19th minute. Appropriately, it was Caribbean night. It was Bermuda international John Barry Newsom scoring the opening goal. The Mariners tied things with 2 minutes left in the half. Carlos Garcia putting home his own rebound. And Virginia Beach got the match winner 9 minutes in the second half from, who else? Dante Washington. His 12th of the year from Garcia made the final. Toronto 1, Virginia Beach 2. Another huge Wednesday night crowd of over 9,500 in Montreal. The first place Impact hosted Puerto Rico. The Islanders have been playing very well as of late, but they were missing their key offensive player, Argentinian Martin Zapata, and the visitors could not get in sync all night. But keeper Michael Ushi kept Puerto Rico in the match. The former Impact player had 11 saves in the contest, but it was not meant to be, as in the 80th minute, Montreal broke through. 2 former Rhinos doing the trick. Yuri Lavrenenko's free kick was put home by Fred Commodore. Montreal wins again 1-0. Greg Sutton, his 14th shutout of the year. That's within 2 of Pat Onstadt's record set in 1998 for the Rhinos. And finally, last night, after losing to San Jose on penalties Wednesday in the U.S. Open Cup quarterfinal at home, Minnesota had to travel to Portland last night to face the Timbers. Not surprisingly, the Thunder had very little left in the tank. Portland was well rested and scored in the 11th minute. Andrew Gregor's first goal of the year, the former first-team A-League All-Star. Then with 2 minutes left in the half, Gregor scored again, making it 2-0. And then Gregor set up the final goal of the night from Byron Alvarez, his 11th of the year. The Thunder get whitewashed 3-0. The Thunder has given up 7 goals in their first 17 matches. They've given up 8 in their last 3. Tonight, some very important matchups in the Eastern Conference. Charleston Battery, this will be rooting for them tonight. They're hosting the Richmond Kickers. Virginia Beach is at Atlanta. Montreal is at home against Vancouver, the top 2 teams in the A-League. It'll be on Fox Sports World. And Calgary is at Milwaukee. In the standings, Montreal leads the way with 46 points, followed by Richmond with 42. The Rhinos with 40, Atlanta 38, Syracuse with 36, right there in 5th. Virginia Beach with 30, and a big drop to Toronto with 22, Puerto Rico with 21, and Charleston with 13. Portland has 42 to lead the West, followed by Vancouver with 39, Minnesota 33, Seattle 31, Milwaukee 27, Edmonton 15, and Calgary with 13. The leaders in the scoring race, Alan Gordon of Portland with 33 points, followed by Dante Washington, Byron Alvarez of Portland, Ali Gerba of Toronto, and Mauricio of Puerto Rico. Greg Sutton leads the way in the goalkeeping race, 0.46 goals against for Montreal, followed by Joe Warren of Minnesota, Alex Marks of Vancouver, the Rhinos Theo Zagar, and the other keeper tonight for Syracuse, Byron Foss. That's it for the Nextel Direct Connect pregame show. Don Stevens and Joe Giuliano with the call. Coming up next here on the Rhinos Radio Network, it's the Rhinos and the Syracuse Salty Dogs from Frontier. This is Andrew Battisti. I'll be back after the match with Soccer Sam on Behind the Net. Again, wish Sam a happy birthday tonight. This is the Rhinos Radio Network.
Good evening to you, everybody. Glad to have you along tonight as the Rhinos get back to A-League action, taking on the Syracuse Salty Dogs. And if there's any way to sort of get out of the doldrums of that loss a couple of nights ago, it's play Syracuse. Certainly the Rhinos owing the Dogs for games gone by, and especially the one last Sunday in which the Dogs squeezed out a 2-1 victory over the Rhinos. So Rochester will try and get back on the winning side of it here tonight at Frontier Field. A little bit cooler this evening. It says on the score clock right now about 64 degrees and dark clouds overhead, but I don't know. It looks like it might be clearing to the west of us a little bit, so it should be a pleasant evening here tonight. Well, the Rhinos losing out in Open Cup play, so now the Cup is history for the season for the Rhinos, and now they can concentrate solely on league action. Talking with the coach of the Raging Rhinos, Patrick Coley, asked him about the devastation of that loss here on Wednesday night.
The other night, obviously giving up a goal in the first 5 minutes, and then playing pretty much 85 minutes in their end of the field and trying to get a goal and not being able to get one, and coming close on many occasions makes it disappointing. I think a lot of guys are doing a lot of soul searching and looking at themselves in the mirror and determining what they need to do to make a difference.
Yeah, you're talking about outplaying the other team, and certainly I think you did outplay the Battery. How many times have you seen it over the years when you hit the crossbar and so on? You're getting all kinds of opportunities that can score early, and it really comes back to haunt you, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think especially the type of goal that was given up. I mean, we kind of sat there and everybody was mesmerized, so to speak, and that plays on you. I mean, if it's an honest goal, something that you couldn't do anything about, I think you're going to continue to play the game. You're not even going to be thinking about it. But I think that's the tough part when you give up, especially at this point in the season, a goal like we did, and then sit there and go, "Geez, what the heck are we doing?" And you're spending time thinking about that when you shouldn't. You should be focused on the game. But I can't say that the guys on the field did that, because I think they continue to push forward. They continue to create opportunities. I thought the game was very exciting for 90 minutes. Unfortunately, nothing went in the back of the net.
That's really the sad part, is you should come out of that game with a real positive feeling, but losing in that situation, it's a negative feeling, isn't it?
Certainly. I mean, I can look back at this season, and there's probably about 3 games, definitely, that were very similar to this, where we outplayed the opponent, and we're talking about, quality teams. I mean, we played Montreal in Montreal. We outplayed them. Then the end of the game, there's a shot from 35 yards that's deflected and, goes in. And it wasn't even, it was a harmless shot. So we're sitting there, it seems like the ball just isn't bouncing our way. Syracuse, same thing in the last game. Quality game in Syracuse. We played hard, we played well, and we created opportunities. They didn't go in, and then they put one into the box, and it bounces around, and it goes in the back of the net. And, you want to talk about being snake bitten, but in the same token, you make your own luck. And we need to continue playing the way we are, and things will turn around.
I guess maybe you answered my next question. Your job, you have to have your players, you have to show them how to overcome all of those negatives. How do you do that?
Well, you keep reinforcing the positives and showing them the good things that came out of the game, and looking at, like I said, I don't think there were too many negatives other than the goal against Charleston. So you have to look at all the positive things and say, hey, look at it. If you continue to do these things and you continue to work hard, that things will go your way.
Andrew Coley, the coach of the Raging Rhinos, he'll be looking for the positives here tonight at Frontier Field as the Rhinos get ready to take on the Salty Dogs of Syracuse. The game about to get underway, so stick with us. This was the Raging Rhinos Radio Network. Here at Frontier Field tonight, the Rhinos get ready to take on the Syracuse Salty Dogs. I'm Don Stevens, and alongside 2 games in a row, Joe Giuliano. The team has been united again.
Thanks for having me back.
Yeah. Thanks for showing up for a change. Oh, no, I guess I shouldn't. I guess I can't really say that this year, can I?
Yeah, we'll talk about that off there, but if you do go away, Puerto Rico will be fine again.
Yeah, okay. All right, let's check the starting lineups brought to you tonight by MGM Associates. Starting out in goal for the Syracuse Salty Dogs. One of the reasons they're doing so well is because of Byron Foss. It comes into this one with a 6-5-0 record and a 0.99 goals against average. Actually, I believe that should be a 7-5-0 record. And 3 shutouts so far, as he has won the last 7 straight games in goal for the Salty Dogs. The defensive row will include Lars Loisan, Rene Rivas, the former Rhino, Ryan Hall, and Jason Perry. Through the midfield, look for Tim O'Neill, Frankie Sanfilippo, Ian Wone, and Jonathan Steele. And then up front, Michael Millwood and Mauro Caraballo. So that's the starters for the Salty Dogs. And for the Rhinos in goal, Soren Johnson gets the nod tonight. Johnson in goal with a 3-2-0 record and a 1.60 goals against average. On defense, we'll see Craig Dimon, Billy Sedgwick returns tonight, Dave White, and John Wilson. Through the midfield, Roland Aguilera, along with Yari Ona, gets the start. Noah Delgado and Kirk Wilson. And then up front, Chris Carrieri and Ian Fuller back in the lineup tonight. You have to wonder how long Ian Fuller's going to last after missing 15 games, played the full 90 of a very hard game last game. So it's going to be interesting to see how long he's lasting here tonight.
Spoke with Ian this morning at the team picture, and he says he's not tired. He's 100%. Told the coach he's ready to go. So I think Fuller will be running on adrenaline if that tank gets empty. He's been out for so long, and he knows this team needs to score goals. So I think Fuller will maybe go the distance. We'll see what happens.
Well, certainly it's going to be a very important contest here tonight for either team. Much more so than for Syracuse than it is for Rochester. Right now, Rochester's in a playoff spot. But the Salty Dogs only 2 points out of a playoff spot, and they win this one, and they're right in the hunt with the 3rd and 4th place teams.
Without a doubt, this is a must-win game, I think, for either side. And right now, it's 2 teams that are going in opposite directions. You mentioned the streak of the Syracuse Salty Dogs. Rochester 3-6 in their last 9 games. So
they're going downhill. Syracuse is really starting to move things up. And again, with a win tonight, they're 1 point behind the Rhinos. Rochester's got to get some momentum going and open up some breathing space in this playoff race.
Salty Dogs will be taking the opening kickoff, and they're dressed tonight in the white jerseys and socks with black shorts, numeral and trim. And then at the other side, it's the opposite for the Rhinos in the black uniforms with the white numerals and trim tonight. So the Rhinos will be shooting at the net to our left. Soren Johnson in goal down to our right. And a few changes. Of course, Sean Shakiris is out on suspension. Carlos Mendez is out with a leg injury. Neto is out with a leg injury, and he may be gone for the year with his injury. And so the injuries continue to mount. Billy Sedgwick back in the lineup tonight. I think he was missed the last couple of games.
Without a doubt. The midfield's going to be a transition now. Pato, Yari starting as central midfielders. Wilson, we've seen him play so much in the middle. Now he's on the right side. And Delgado playing left midfield. I know his left foot is bothering him, so I think we'll watch Delgado try to cut the ball back a lot and serve it with his right foot. And we'll see how effective he is at that left midfield position.
All right, about to get underway with this one here at Frontier Field tonight. The referee is Andrew Chapin. The linesmen, Thomas Mingle and Vladimir Fabre. And the fourth official is Joe Zwack. As there is some ceremonial things happening out on the field. I'll get all of the PR things taken care of, and then we'll be getting underway with the game here very shortly. This is the second of 3 this week. 3 home matches. Wednesday night here for Open Cup play, and then tonight and now Sunday night, it'll be the Charleston Battery coming back after they play at home tonight against the Richmond Kickers.
Charleston, there's going to be some payback here as they knocked Rochester out of the U.S. Open Cup. Should be exciting on Sunday.
Set to go now. Again, the kickoff to be taken by the Salty Dogs, and we are underway tonight as the ball dropped back in the middle to Wone along his 35, pass to the outside Hall, out over midfield to Millwood checking back, and now a feed through midfield. It is Caraballo trying to sneak it through, and it's knocked down inside the 18 and scooped up by Johnson. So the Rhino keeper has the ball. They're just getting started in this one. Soren Johnson, again, coming in with a 3-2-0 record. Actually had gone 3-0 his first 3 starts of the season, but has lost the last couple of games, as the last 2 giving up 7 goals in his last 2 outings. Both at Virginia Beach, wasn't it?
Tough work. A tired team in front of him didn't help him out much.
That's dropped in the air by Aguilera down inside the 18. Fuller couldn't get up for it. That's chipped along to cross in front. Again, headed away in the far side by Perry, deep to the corner. Underneath it, Kurt Wilson being bothered by Hall, and the ball is knocked out along the touchline and finally rolls out of bounds. That off of the Dogs, so it'll be a throw-in for the Rhinos deep in the right wing corner.
And you can see the confidence in the flank players for the Rhinos. With Ian Fuller in now, they're serving the ball with a purpose to a tall target man.
Throw into the short, a flick on by Fuller, ball knocked down, almost got it through, and that's played out top, near the midfield circle. Millwood's pass, tipped forward up the right wing side, but Demon coming over to cut it off. He'll beat Carballel to the ball and rolls it back inside of the 18. Johnson first times it off on the near wing, but puts it into the stands. Throw in on the near side by Lars Lyson. Out the right wing, and trying to flick it on is Caraballo. Couldn't reach it. Demon's ball hits Caraballo, knocked down, and Demon gets it again. Hammers it out to near midfield. And a pass over the far wing after it goes Steele. Out the left wing side, down to the Rhino 18. At the far end of the box, tried to feed in front. Blocked away on the far wing by Sedgwick, and then he'll send it along the right wing touchline downfield and across midfield to Fuller. Has it at the Syracuse 35. Slips it into the middle for Allnut. Catching up to the ball, drops it back at midfield. Wilson touching into the middle circle. Aguilera off on the left wing side for John Wilson. Takes a look downfield with a left foot, tips it ahead to the 25. Flick on by Fuller at the far end of the box. Nodded right back in front. Here's Fuller, takes a chip shot in and puts it up over top of the crossbar. So from 23 yards out, Fuller gets a shot away on the return pass from Carrieri.
And early on, you can see the Syracuse defenders laying off of Ian Fuller a bit, expecting the flick. So at times, if Fuller is able to maybe chest the ball once or twice, he's going to have some defensive players laying off to him. He may find some space when he mixes things up.
All played it through midfield, and it's first time back across the midfield line, and headed all the way back down and around the 18. Couple of bounces in, and grabbed by Foss as Carrieri's right on the doorstep. Foss takes it again, the keeper who's on loan from the Colorado Rapids, 24-year-old from Monarch Beach, California.
Colorado Carrieri's former team in the MLS.
Long ball flighted downfield all the way to the Rhino 18, headed away by Wright. In underneath it, Wone heads it up the near side. That one, as they try and cross it on the 18, blocked away by Allnut on the near wing, and Delgado puts it off the outside of his foot into the stands. Throw in on the near side for Lyset. Throw in the middle for Wone, turns it back to the outside. Lyson on the near wing, knocked away by Delgado and out. Throw-in near the midfield line on the near side for the Salty Dogs, and up for the throw-in is Perry. On the right wing side, floats it over Demon. That's blocked inside the 18, then hammered away out of the box by Demon. Big bounce over the far wing, settled by Steele, the 18-year-old. Draws it off into the middle, in the center circle. Wone lays it to the outside of the near wing, and moving up on the play is Lysant. Rolls it along the near touchline to O'Neill, drops it deep to the corner. After trying to get to it, is taken down is Sanfilippo, and ball out over the end line creates a corner kick for the Salty Dogs.
And in that situation there, Pato's either going to get the foul called against him, coming in with the scissors tackle, or the corner kick. So either way, Syracuse gets a bit of a break here.
Up to take the corner kick is Ian Wone. Off the right wing side. Left-footed kicker, so it'll be an in-swinging kick. 4th minute, no score. And a high chip for the back post. Nobody there. It floats over everybody. Out the far end of the box, and finally over the touchline of the far corner. And Dave Wright is there to make the throw-in for the Rhinos.
Like some of the crosses we saw for Rochester against Charleston, the corner kicks, they had so many in that game, but the service just not on the mark. Syracuse picking up the pace there.
Sedgwick takes the throw in short to right back to Sedgwick in the corner, long upfield, but headed into the 18. Knocked down by Wright with the right foot, boots it away, but Wone stops it at the 25, turns it to the outside up the left wing. Taken by Steele down to the 18, the far end of the box, being watched by Sedgwick. Tried to pass in front, rolls out over the end line. Still kept in play. That went bouncing through out front. Now the whistle blows and play is stopped. And I believe it was offside.
Over the end line, just out of bounds. The referee's assistant.
Was it offside or it was over the end line?
Yeah, so goal kick coming out. He's in a great position to make the call there.
All right, the goal kick to be taken by Soren Johnson. Backs up after placing the ball at his 6. With the right foot, drives it out through midfield. That is a flick on by Allnut, sneaks it through in front. Carrieri trying to get behind Perry, but can't do it, and Perry pops it up in the air on the near wing and into the stands. A throw in for the Rhinos. 25 yards out on the near side of the field to be taken by Delgado. Takes the run and the throw in to the near end of the box. Played back Fuller to Carrieri, bounced away. Out top, Aguilera's shot that went knocked down. Here's Wilson, tips it down inside at the 6-1 hop, and it's picked up by Foss. So the Rhinos get the ball into the area, but couldn't get a shot away. As the ball blocked away by John Wilson, and Demon then sends it through midfield. However, out of bounds again on the near side, and a throw in for the Salty Dogs in front of their own player bench.
It was good team defending by Syracuse, not letting the shot get through to make Byron Foss a bit of work for him. So good defending by the Salty Dogs.
Headed away out of bounds on the near side. Lysant with another throw in to Carabayanis. He spins around trying to get away from Delgado. Has the ball under his foot. Trying to draw it away. Delgado steals it. Brings it up across the midfield line. As he turns, slows it up. Plays it to the outside on left wing for Fuller. Tried to switch it, however, put it away off the foot of Perry and out of bounds. Throw it to the near side for the Rhinos. Be taken by John Wilson into the middle for Aguilera. He'll cross it to the outside, and nobody will get to it. Off of the far wing, ball rolls out, throw into the far side of the field for the Salty Dogs. 7th minute from Frontier Field and no score.
There's been some tight battles in midfield. Pato and Yari are tight marked as soon as they touch the ball, so look for them to get some quicker distribution off the ball.
All brought away by the Rhinos through the center circle. Right, passing off to Delgado. On the attack into Syracuse territory. Off the left wing, rolls it to the outside. Here's John Wilson. Had to slow up. Pass in front, but blocked away. Comes out of the near wing, and that's off the foot of Wilson. And out of bounds. Throw in on the near side for the Salty Dogs from their own 25. To be taken by Lysant. Throw in on the near side. Flick on by Carabayao, but knocked down, and Demon has it. Rolls it ahead to Carrieri. One touch forward. Return pass. Carrieri up the near end of the box. Being chased down. Trying to spin away from Rivas, and the ball knocked out of bounds. That off of Lysant, so a throw in on the near side for the Rhinos from 18 yards out to be taken by Delgado. Nice idea on the give and go.
It's good combination play with those two guys.
Throw inside the box. On the flick on, but knocked down in the 6 by Perry. Pass up top, sliding in underneath it. That's knocked down. Throw it in. Oh, headed for the upper corner. Almost dipped in the upper right, but Foss in the air comes down with the ball. Nice shot by Pato.
That one-time shot out of the air from Pato, the creative midfielder, and Foss for a second there. You didn't think he was going to reach up and grab the ball, but he's a big keeper and made that look routine. But good shot from Pato.
Headed away by Demon back to the midfield line. Lysant draws drawing it up the right wing side, chased by Delgado. Spins back and drops it off in midfield along the near wing. Sanfilippo pass ahead to O'Neill and give it off to Lyson. Sneaks it through to Sanfilippo. On the right wing side, the cross down inside, but offside. Off of the far wing is Steele, and the whistle will stop play on the offside, and the Rhinos will have the restart.
Laura Callaway having to make some adjustments here tonight. Scott Schweitzer out initially for 3 games, but after the appeal gets a 2-game suspension, so he's normally that central defender. He's out. Rivas, who's been playing a lot of midfield now, drops back, plays central defender here for the Salty Dogs. So a lot of experience. You don't really skip a beat putting Rivas back there.
Johnson sends it through midfield. Headed away, but in turn volleyed back by Wilson. Then low kick through midfield. Sneaking all the way through to Demon, rolling all the way down to the 18 where it's taken by Johnson. He'll just push it ahead with the right foot. Drives it out through midfield once again. They'll try it all over. Stepping up to intercept is Hall for the Salty Dogs. Turns it to the outside. Steele with a cross, but that's headed away by right to the center circle, and it is Pato unable to keep control. Comes out of the near wing, chased down by Lyson. Up the right wing to the midfield line. Knocked out of bounds. Throw in on the near side for the Dogs. Lyson with the throw in. High floater ahead. Headed away out of bounds. That off of the Dogs, so a throw in now for the Rhinos from their own 30 on the near side. Be taken by John Wilson. Gains about 6 or 8 yards. And a couple more, and now makes the throw in. That's headed back along the midfield line. Stepping in underneath it is Wone. Tipping it forward, but moving into knock it aside is right, and the Rhinos have the ball. Wilson chips it across midfield, right to Hall, and he gets tied up. Wilson taken down on a tackle, and the foul is called, and it'll be a free kick for the Rhinos at the midfield line.
And early on, you can see Kirk Wilson. He loves to play in the center part of the field. He's starting off as a midfielder on the right flank, but he always gets pushed into the middle part of the field. Sedgwick is going to have to make up for some of that space on the outside when Wilson's playing central.
Sedgwick will serve it up. Line drive kick to the 18, the near side, and is blocked away and brought out of the box by Lyson. Off the right wing, Delgado on him. As they tie up and go down, the foul is called on Delgado. So it'll be a free kick for the Salty Dogs from their own side of midfield. They're about 40 yards out. 11th minute now at Frontier Field, and no score. A cool evening. 63 degrees now on the score clock. Little bit of a breeze. Cloudy overhead. Low kick inside to the 18, and Delgado will volley it high in the air the other way across midfield. Harry in turn sends it into Rhino territory. That's to our right here in the first half. Sanfilippo settling it and plays the ball through the center circle for Hall. Moving up, pass ahead, sneaking through the 18, and the rolling ball is scooped up by Johnson.
Good double team there. Is right left the ball run through. Millwood's chasing for the ball. Demon never quit though. Just getting enough body on Millwood, who's a big strong forward before he can reach the ball.
Soren Johnson sends it downfield. Fuller up but couldn't get a hold of it, and the ball is headed forward. In turn, Allnut heads it forward. Settled by Fuller. One touch back to Wilson, bouncing away, and the ball is carried off by the Salty Dogs. Passed along midfield out on the near wing. O'Neill on the attack into Rhino territory. Down to the 35, looking for the through ball. A give and go. Back to O'Neill, but stepping in to intercept on the other side is right, and he'll tip the ball off on the near wing and out of bounds. Sanfilippo for the throw-in for the Salty Dogs. Carabayel, who scored one of the goals last game against these two teams, out on the near wing. That's knocked down by Lyson. Ahead for Carabayel. He'll pop it up in the air, but Alma's there. He headed to the outside for Delgado. Throws it across midfield as Fuller is pulled down from behind by Perry, and as he's very tightly marked, the foul is called and a restart for the Rhinos at the midfield line.
It's the same thing we saw with Charleston. Fuller is a big, strong target man. They've got to take him down. They can't win the ball away from him. Now Rochester has got to make something happen with these restarts that Fuller wins.
That ball, Demon down inside, and Foss up in the air. It is 10 coming down with the ball. So the Rhinos chip it inside the box once again, but can't get a finishing touch on it.
But it's still much better challenges in the air than we've seen earlier. Allnut's got a spark off the bench here. Fuller's also strong in the air, so a little different feel than we've seen earlier on.
Ball played out and downfield by Foss, kicks it up into the stands. Rhinos have a throw-in from their own 35 on the far side of the field. Sedgwick for the throw-in. Long across midfield. As that one sneaking through is taken back by the Salty Dogs and into the center circle. Crossed out of the near wing. Onto the ball is Lyson. Up the right side for O'Neill. John Wilson on him right away and stepping up. Demon with it left foot. Sends it through midfield but knocked down by Lyson. He chips it the other way into Rhino territory. Down to the near end of the box. Knocked down by Wright. Spinning, trying to get away from Millwood. And a foul is called as Millwood grabbing onto the back of Dave Wright.
Play on. Wright's big, strong player able to get away from him, clear the ball. Let the play continue.
So the Rhinos will have the race start. Sponsors of these broadcasts include Spinning Webs, the official website provider of the Rhinos. Connolly Printing with 108 years of experience. Tunes by Todd, DJ service for all your entertainment needs. Go to tunesbytodd.com. And by Webster Chrysler Jeep at 2111 Empire Boulevard in Webster. All through midfield. Aguilera stuffing out Kirk Wilson, settling in the center circle. Pulls it out of the near wing, gives it off to Allen, then return pass to Wilson. Knocked away to Rochester side of midfield. The Rhinos have it back. Wilson, long delivery downfield. Trying to stick it behind Rivas. Foss way out of the box. Still kicking away and downfield. In a collision with Delgado. Foss takes a dive, and he's putting on quite a show.
There is a call made, but looks like no card just yet.
You know, it was way after the fact that all of a sudden he came out, he played the ball, he looked downfield to see where it went, and then all of a sudden he took a dive. Now he pops up, he's just fine.
I didn't see the cat tank at all. I think Fuller wants a yellow card issued to Foss for a bit of an embellishment.
I would say. Yeah, Fuller and Foss having a few words, pointing fingers at each other.
The best payback for Ian is to put one in the back of the net behind Foss.
Oh, I guarantee you he'd love to.
That'd be the best thing to shut him up.
All right, so Foss from his 20. Low kick through midfield off of the far wing. As the ball pushed back into the middle, the challenge there, and it's taken away. Nice job by Kirk Wilson. Center circle for Aguilera, but can't slide into the ball. It's knocked away. Millwood dummies the ball. It rolls down inside the Rhino 18, and it's taken back by Johnson.
And, you know, Pato, not the biggest player out there, but he's not afraid to get stuck in their head balls, slide tackles on the ground. He and Ola could be a nice combination in that central midfield.
Johnson with the right foot. He'll roll it off on the right wing side. Cedric brings it forward across midfield for Kirk Wilson. Checking back, sneaks by one, but the ball rolls away. Stepping up right, intercepts, knocks it loose. Wilson on the midfield circle. Aguilera pass to Delgado. Drawing it forward, being chased from behind, turns back to get away. Drops it off once again for Pato. Long up the right wing side, but Hall gets a foot on it to knock the pass away as Carrieri was breaking up the right wing, and the ball is put into the stands on the far side of the field.
That's a great idea from Pato. If he can just slice it behind the defense, Carrieri's long gone.
On pop-up downfield. Fuller back, knocks it down for Carrieri. 35 yards out, chips it inside the 18 and unable to get to it. Is Fuller's. Foss is in, picks up the ball in the first hop.
And that's just a matter of Carrieri and Fuller not being used to playing together. Fuller wants the ball on the ground. Chris chips it up in the air. It's going to take time.
Ball cleared downfield. Demon heads it back toward the center circle. Sanfilippo sends it forward to Carabayel. He'll drop it off on the left wing side at the 35 for Woon. Low ball along the 18. Stepping in, John Wilson will play it away and out to midfield. Headed again forward by Hall of the Dogs, but up to Sedgwick, and the Rhinos take it. Locked away out of bounds by Carabayel, so a throw in for the Rhinos, far side of the field from around their own 40. Cedric across midfield to Fuller. Checking back, drops it off the midfield line for Kirk Wilson. Turns toward the middle, gets away from one and another. He'll look for the sneak the ball through, but Perry intercepts, turns it to the outside for Rivas. Hassel on the far wing as the Rhinos get to it. However, foul is called, or was the ball out of bounds?
Fuller getting a little clip there on Rene Rivas, the former Rhino.
All right, the foul is called, so a free kick for the Salty Dogs. 17th minute at Frontier Field, and still scoreless.
Former Rhino Tomax Suarez on the bench. He's listed as a sub for the Salty Dogs, recovering from a hamstring injury. So we'll see if the former Rhino gets a little taste of action tonight.
At the right foot, delivered through midfield by Foss, coming down and headed away back out toward midfield. Underneath it, Hall, one big hop, knocks it down to the midfield line. Rolls it ahead, but taken back by the Rhinos. Wilson in the center circle for Alden, and across midfield for Delgado. O'Neal chasing him. Delgado spins away, then lays it to the open left wing side. Running onto the ball, John Wilson. On the near wing, pass toward the middle for Delgado. In the center circle for Aguilera. He'll roll it ahead, but the pass is unreachable by Fuller. Rolls out on the far side and taken back by the Dogs. Steele on the left wing, chips it across midfield. Sedgwick there for the Rhinos, heads into the midfield line. Hall stepping up for the Dogs, and almost a collision, but the ball recovered now by the Rhinos. Spinning around, Aguilera pass, picked off and taken away by the Dogs. Into the center circle, Wone chips it out on the near side for Lysand. Out the right wing side, long in the right wing for O'Neal. To the end line, Demon chasing, nobody will get to the ball, and it's a goal kick for the Rhinos. 18th minute, no score. Other sponsors of these broadcasts include Bill Gray's with 13 locations in Rochester. Hollywood Tans, the official tanning provider of the Rhinestones. Hero East Athletic Club, on the web at HeroEast.com. And by Total Wireless Now, communication without limitations.
A couple of tough passes there from Pato, looking for Fuller and Sedgwick. Almost trying to do too much. If he slows down, does that creative stuff, he'll be fine.
Ball knocked away by Wright. That is 35 for the Rhinos. Brings it forward toward midfield, now into the center circle. As he's challenged, neatly steps by Wone and rolls it ahead. And Carrieri after ball blocked away, but moving up. Aguilera taken down, no call. And the ball pushed out of the far wing for Steele. Sliding in to knock it away is Sedgwick. However, out of bounds on the far side. And a throw in for the Salty Dogs from their own 30. There's the throw-in. Cross midfield, but Sedgwick steps in the way of it again. Puts it through midfield, but Hall up with it will chip a long one downfield. Back forward, Wilson heads it to his keeper, and Johnson takes it on one hop. So the Rhino keeper with the ball.
Johnson's got a longer boot than Theo Zagar. This could be a benefit looking for Fuller on the head.
Cross midfield, on it with the flick on. Comes out of the near wing as Fuller chasing and colliding with Perry, and the ball rolls out of bounds, and a throw-in for the Rhinos. Fuller goes for the throw-in, however, puts it right into the Syracuse player. And the ball is knocked away near midfield. Stepping up, John Wilson on the left wing side. Turns ahead to get away from Caraballo along the near touch line. Stops the ball, spinning around, still has it. Back heel, but picked off by Wone. And the Dogs with the ball. Let's switch to the outside of the left wing. Turning after the ball goes Steele, dropping it back to Hall along his 35. Brings it forward into the middle. Sanfilippo giving it back at Rivas into the center circle. Wone, one touch, dropping it off. In behind Sanfilippo, take it away, the Rhinos have it. Long up the right wing side, underneath the Carrieri. Far into the box. Pokes it up in the air along the 18. Comes out of the near side, trying to get underneath it. Fuller, take it down, no call. And the ball run away by Rivas. Turns it to the outside of the near wing, unable to keep control. O'Neal, it skips out of bounds.
It's some of what we saw Wednesday. Carrieri, I thought, top of the 18. Let one go, see what happens. One too many passes from the Rhinos again.
On the near wing, Delgado picked off his foot. Knocked away. Another throw-in for the Rhinos on the near side from down 25 yards out.
It's so hard to get the ball into the box when you have the chance. Let loose and see what happens.
Here's the throw-in by Wilson, just inside the 18, near in, but headed away, and then hop high in the air. Coming down 35 yards out, moving in, Demon in a collision with Caraballo, and Demon goes down, grabbing his head. A head-to-head collision. The foul is called on Caraballo, and it'll be a free kick for the Rhinos 35 yards out to the left of center, and Demon, I think he took quite a whack.
Yeah, well, Caraballo was going to go up for the head, then put his foot up in the air, so he wasn't sure what he was going to do.
Was that what his foot?
I think it may have been his stud.
I thought they went head-to-head.
But he wasn't sure how he was going to challenge. Demon all along was going for the head. And then a little mix-up there from Caraballo. Demon's still down. He's never down for this long.
Grabbing onto the head. If he hit the head or the shoulder, I mean, that's a pretty tough knock. Well, 21st minute at Frontier Field, and there's no score between the Rhinos and the Salty Dogs. And the Rhinos are back here on Sunday night against the Charleston Battery, owing a little something in that one.
Yeah, I would say so.
And don't forget, on Sunday night, it's Rex's birthday. Come on out and celebrate Rex's birthday with more than 20 of his friends. First 8,000 will receive a Rhinos bumper sticker courtesy of Label World. You can call 454-KICK to order 4 tickets for $44. Game is brought to you by Label World and Dorshell Scion. And you can also join us for the official post-game party at the distillery. Sunday night, Charleston coming back.
Looks like Demon took a shot right in the mouth. He's got a pad to stop some of the bleeding. Semedo was up warming up for the Rhinos. Demon's going to check back to the bench to, I'm sure, stop the bleeding before he can come back on the pitch.
So the Rhinos at a man down. This one's a tough one to spit out.
Yeah, it is. And it'll take a lot more than that to keep Demon off the field. I'm sure he'll check back in.
All right, free kick for the Rhinos. 35 yards out. Pacho goes for it, blocked away at the wall. Out to the 40 on the far side, right underneath it. Getting to it. He'll hammer it ahead, but that's then headed in the air by Wone out the far wing. Steele stumbles in to try and get the ball. It's Kirk Wilson helping out Aguilera. Ball knocked away, and finally Sanfilippo sends it through midfield. Back for it. Sedgwick puts it into the stands. Throw it on the far side for the Salty Dogs from the Rhinos 35. This off the left wing side. Throw in to be taken by Hall as he'll go along the midfield line for Woon. Delivers off on the near side. Ball knocked down 35 yards out. Lays to the outside for Lysan. Turns it back into the middle. O'Neal spinning around. Pass in the middle on the 35 for Woon. Chips it down inside. Blocked away at the 18. And Wright gets to it. The right foot pops it in the air out to midfield. And Fuller with a flick on across midfield. But Perry chasing it down. Plays it back to his keeper. Foss, one touch to the outside of the left wing for Hall. With his left foot blocked into the stands by Kirk Wilson, the far side, so a throw in for the Salty Dogs near midfield.
Demon coming back just in time as Carabile trying a little fancy pass inside the box. Looks like it was the lower lip that was bleeding for Craig Demon.
Cross midfield, Carrieri spins away, then stumbles and goes down. Kirk Wilson turns it at the middle, but trying to get slowed up to catch the ball. Was Aguilera, couldn't reach it, taken away by Millwood, and the Dogs have it back. Syracuse along their own 40.
And the Rhinos just not on the same page. Wilson's got Fuller streaking wide open down the flank and goes central and gives the ball away, so passing way off the mark.
Chipped ahead, headed into the middle by Carrieri, checking back for the ball. Fuller knocks it loose. Here's Aguilera, down to the 20 in the middle. Takes to the outside. Kirk Wilson at the end line, trying to get to it. For the cross, puts it off of Foss. Blocks it out over the end line. Corner kick for the Rhinos, but Rochester on about a 3-on-1.
And Pato took too long with the ball. Either strike the ball or make the pass sooner. He gave Wilson a terrible angle to work with. So, again, one too many touches, just killing any chance that Rochester has to be creative in the box.
Corner kick off the right wing side. Pato will take the kick. Out-swinging kick low in the box. That one knocked down on top of Woon, carries it away. Out the far end of the box, and it's jammed out through midfield, and the foul is called. Kirk Wilson getting tied up with the Syracuse defender who's down on the field. The referee over to have a few words for Kirk Wilson. And his license still getting up.
And that may help the Rhinos because there's a good long ball to Carabile here on the near side, who maybe had a chance to win the ball. That stopped the whole counterattack for the Salty Dogs.
So the free kick for the Salty Dogs from their own 22, a little bit to the left of center. 25th minute of Frontier Field and scoreless. Keeper Byron Foss placing the ball with the right foot. Line drive kick coming all the way down to the Rhino 18, headed away by Wright, in underneath it all net. As it bounced away from him, knocked out along the 18, Millwood checking back, plays it to the outside. A return pass taken away by Kirk Wilson as he's double teamed, puts it away off of Steele and out of bounds. Throw in for the Rhinos. On the right wing side. To be taken by Billy Sedgwick. Sedgwick still waiting for the opening. Now goes short to Kirk Wilson. Draws it across midfield. Sneaks it through to Aguilera, but stepping up to intercept his license. And the ball taken away by the Dogs. Pass back out through the center circle and off on the near wing. Off the right wing side. John Wilson steps in to knock it away. The Rhinos carry it upfield. Into the center circle. Wilson turns to his right. Trying to get away from Lyson. Giving it off to Kirk Wilson. Back in the center circle. Drops it to John Wilson. Switching to the outside of the right wing for Sedgwick. One touch ahead for Delgado. Knocked away and out of bounds by Rivas. And so the Rhinos with the throw in from around the 35 on the right wing side. Sedgwick, quick throw in down to the far end of the box. It's knocked away in front. Out with a Delgado. Ball knocked down, and they're calling a handball. Where was that called the other night?
Yeah, in the box especially. But John Wilson here in the first half has done a good job breaking up plays, reading the play, stepping in to win the ball for the Rhinos, and also trying to push up into the attack to create some problems for the Salty Dogs. That Wilson also had a strong game against his former mates, the Battery, on Wednesday, in a game that Rochester at least should have put one in the back of the net.
26 minutes and scoreless at Frontier Field. Back into A-League action. The Salty Dogs have climbed back into the hunt as they were seemingly way down and out of it. Kicked all the way downfield, rolls out over the end line, and a goal kick for the Rhinos. Other sponsors of these broadcasts: Chase Pitkin, with a lifetime tool warranty for all tools purchased at Chase Pitkin. Kimberly Clark, a proud sponsor of the Rhinos. Myers RV in Churchville, just off I-490. And State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Syracuse 7-3-1 in their last 11 games. Laurie Calloway doing a good job of meshing the veteran players with some of the young players. Frankie Sanfilippo, Steele, young guys, great future.
Headed across midfield, but the Dogs have it played into Rhino territory. Devin chips it forward to Aguilera. Drops it back at his 35 for John Wilson. Off the left wing side. Hammers it through midfield. Carrieri blocking it forward. Couldn't get to it, and it's played out of the near wing. Delgado underneath it, turning up the left wing side. Steps over the ball, spinning around, trying to get away from O'Neal. Pass in the middle for Fuller. Dropping it off. Aguilera 40 yards out of the middle. Takes a look and switches to the outside of the right wing for Sedgwick. Off the wing along the far touchline for Kirk Wilson. Turns back toward the middle, gets away. 35 yards out, lays it out on the near side, and moving up is John Wilson. 30 yards out, chips it inside the 18. Bouncing ball to the 6. Knocked down. Carrieri goes flying, and the ball rolls out over the end line, and Carrieri slow to get up. And this one was Foss having a few words for Carrieri.
Foss is quite the vocal goalkeeper, not afraid to jibber-jabber with some of the guys. And as a keeper, you want to be careful there because that gives the forwards even more motivation to bury one.
Well, that's blocked out off of Foss, so it'll be a corner kick for the Rhinos. Off the left wing side to be taken by Aguilera. Right-footed kicker, so an in-swinging kick. Set to the service. Pato Aguilera with the right foot. Chips it low in the box, headed away by Millwood. Settled 25 yards out by Kirk Wilson. Spins it off to Sedgwick, but stepping up to intercept is Carabayal, like he knew about a half hour before what the play was going to be. Pass ahead, return to the outside. Millwood, and on him is Kirk Wilson. At the far end of the box, the 18. Wilson bumping with Millwood. The ball rolls out of the 18, and Millwood turns and puts about 95 feet in the air out over the end line.
Wilson not having the best of first halves we've seen from him.
Well, we have a yellow card issued to Sedgwick. Sedgwick gets the caution. Man, he's got so many points that he can't afford to get any more of those things.
We had him up here with us on Wednesday, so it's not where you want to see Sedgwick in the scorebooks. But Wilson, I think maybe just getting adjusted to playing at right midfield, a couple of dangerous giveaways. That time his work rate got him back in time, but not the place you want to give the ball away in the middle of the field.
Johnson, keeper tonight for the Rhinos, sets the ball at the 6 with a goal kick. No score in the 29th minute from Frontier Field in Rochester. That went forward. Delgado looking for the flick on, but O'Neal blocks it forward to Rhino territory. John Wilson taken down on a tackle by Carabayal, and the foul is called, or is it a throw-in? Foul is called.
Iffy call there. There was almost no contact, but Wilson, the professional that he is, makes the most of it.
John Wilson set with the left foot. Chips it all the way down to the 20. All net up for the flick on. That's knocked down. Moving in. Carrieri with a shot. Blocked away at the wall along the 18. And deflected wide and out over the end line. A corner kick and Rivas after the referee saying it went off of Rochester. Evidently the ball did not. It's a corner kick for the Rhinos.
There was a deflection, but again, there's so many players that Carrieri can't get a clean look at the goal. But still, he's shooting from a distance. It's good to see. One of those will go through, and something will happen for the Rhinos.
Pato Aguilera once again to serve it up. And here it comes, low in the box once again, headed away out top, the far end of the box, and moving up is Sedgwick. On the right wing side, pass off, hits his own man Aguilera, the ball bounces away, all the way out to the midfield circle.
He was checking back for the ball. Sedgwick wanted to go forward.
John Wilson chips it down to the 18. Carrieri tried to hit it aside, but that's knocked away by Perry. And a bicycle kick of the ball by Rivas puts it into the stands. On the near side, Rhinos throw in from 25 yards out to be taken by Delgado. Goes short to Fuller. He rolls to the corner, trying to drop it back. Bounce inside the box and taken down. No call, and the ball brought away. Out to midfield. After it, Aguilera steals it away from Millwood. Up the right side. Carrieri in a foot race with Hall. As he turns off on the far side, the 15. Turn to the end line. Cross in front. Allnut drops it. Moving in as Wilson can't shoot. And the attempt by Fuller is blocked away. Up top again. Sliding in. Aguilera knocks it down to the 35. And the ball played away to midfield. Carabayal trying to get loose. Being chased by Sedgwick. Out of the near side. Carabayal turning to his left, still has it, knocked away by Wright, comes out the near wing, sliding in. Here's Aguilera, can't get to it. O'Neal still controlling it off of the near side for Lysand. Off the right wing along the near touch line. O'Neal, cross down inside, and the ball hit it up in the air, and Johnson comes down with it. That is two on the close post, the near post, comes down with the ball.
Good end-to-end action there. Carrieri on that far side, a burst of speed, a great step-over move, freezes the defender, and then Carabayal comes down with a counterattack. Got to strike the ball at the top of the 18.
Fuller sends it through, Allnut trying to get to it, but Perry puts it on the far wing to steal and played away it out of bounds off of Fuller. So it's thrown to the far side for the Salty Dogs. 32nd minute, no score here at Rochester.
The Fuller-Rivas battle getting interesting as Rivas was down. Fuller going a little bit of a poke there with the cleats.
Headed away by right for Sedgwick with the right foot. Spins, puts it across midfield. Ball headed into the center circle. Perry in underneath it for the Salty Dogs and off of the near wing. O'Neal, one touch, dropping it back his own side of midfield for Lysant. Looks in the middle and giving it off to Wone. Back to the outside of the near wing. Moving in into the ball is Perry. With the right foot, drives it through midfield. Headed in the air by John Wilson. Then nodded to the outside by right to Demon, and the Rhinos have it. Right ahead. Out with it on and with the left foot. Sends it downfield. Carrieri and Perry battle for the ball. Perry plays it back to the keeper. And Foss first time to the head. Aguilera under it. Gets his foot on it, but it bounces away and off on the near wing. Kept in play by O'Neal. Cross through the center circle. John, make that Kirk Wilson steps back to the ball in the center circle. Comes away. Turns to get away from Steele. Rolls it ahead. Fuller checking back to the outside for Sedgwick on the right wing. Draws it down to the 35. Up the open side to Carrieri. Dropping it back to Sedgwick again. As he's challenged, sneaks it along the far touch line. After it, Kirk Wilson looking for the cross. That's in front of the 6, blocked away. And behind the play, Sedgwick in a collision was taken down. Taken down hard.
There's got to be at least a warning to the Syracuse player Steele, who got a piece of Sedgwick. I'm surprised.
And no indication of any foul or anything. 33rd minute. And it is scoreless here at Frontier Field. Sedgwick gets up and, well, there's one thing about Sedgwick. If the referee doesn't take care of it, he'll take care of it himself.
And if he's down, he definitely took a shot.
Of course, he does have to be careful. He has a yellow card in the game.
True.
Here's the throw in at the box, but knocked away by Hall. Off on the far side, Sedgwick lays it out to the 35 for Pato. Chips it along the 18, knocked down by Demon. Turns with the ball, can't get away, and it's carried off by the Salty Dogs. On the way upfield by Perry on the right side. Sneaks it through midfield. John Wilson, but bounced away from him. Carter by Al on the near wing, spinning around. Turning back to his own side of midfield. Drops it toward the middle for Lysand. That one is chipped forward. Sanfilippo's pass, blocked loose, and the Rhinos will recover the ball. Sedgwick dropping it off along his 13 for Dave Wright. Through midfield, ahead for Fuller. Takes a look through, up the right side, but the pass picked off by Hall. And if that one had been through, it would have been the right idea.
It's a matter of inches getting that ball behind the defense.
Rod up in the near wing and across midfield. Carabayal blocking it away on the near wing. Stopping the ball at the touchline, trying to sneak it through. He's watched by Demon and by John Wilson. Double team, the ball rolling to the corner. Put away off of Wilson and out. Throw in along the near side from 10 yards out for the Salty Dogs.
You can see the confidence of Carabayal with the ball at his feet. Likes to take defenders on, not afraid to be creative.
Big boy, too. All the way out to the center circle. Carabayal at, they say 6'2". I don't know, he looks almost bigger than that. Argentinian. That's blocked away. On that back heel to Kirk Wilson. Rolling it ahead of the center circle. Aguilera sneaks it through up the left wing side. Carrieri trying to get loose. Stumbled as he's taken down on a tackle by Lyson. The Rhinos take it away. Carrieri steps on the ball. Couldn't get it through. Allman was in behind and would have been all alone, but Carrieri just couldn't sneak the pass away.
Just not happening up front here for the Rhinos.
Turned ahead across midfield in the middle on the 18 for Millwood in the far wing. Pops it up in the air, trying to come up on the other side. Ball bouncing to the end line, was grabbed by Johnson. Rhinos have the ball.
Pato just got Carrieri jammed with the ball at his feet. Like I said, you had Alna wide open. Maybe a through ball to him would have been a great opportunity for the Rhinos.
Ball played away downfield as Fuller's taken down long before the play. He and Rivas tie up. Fuller's checking up around the nose. He might have gotten an elbow in the face from Rene Rivas.
And that's a payback from earlier in the corner when Rivas was down. Fuller came in with the studs. So again, those guys, you could see right from the start, you knew they were going to get tangled up. Both tough customers.
Foul and the restart for the Rhinos, 35 yards out, a little bit to the right of center. And Fuller going over to the referee, pointing at his right cheek, saying, look here.
A lot of distance here to shoot from, but he's got some targets in Fuller and right into the box. We'll see if they finally get a quality service here.
And here it comes, chipped inside, flicked on by Allnut, but not quite through. Bouncing out top, moving in. Carrieri, now Aguilera pops it up in the air. Down to the 20, knocked aside, and the ball played out of the near wing. Wright steps up for the Rhinos. Tips it through the center circle. In underneath it is Sedgwick, as he'll settle the ball back to his own side of midfield for John Wilson. With the left foot, drives it ahead, popped up in the air off of Wone. Flicked by Fuller out the far side. Far into the box for Wilson. Cross on the 6. Knocked down in front. Knocked down in front. Should have been handball. Is the call made? Yes, it is. The call is made. The Rhinos finally get the handball call.
One game too late, but It's good to see Rochester get a chance now for Pato to bury this as Wilson served the ball clearly off the Syracuse defender's hand on the far side. But see, serve the ball in, shoot the ball, things happen. And this is the result now, a penalty kick for the Rhinos.
Pato Aguilera will take the kick. The penalty kick in the 37th minute. Foss is there. Aguilera, right-footed kicker. Netter step, takes a shot, scores! Aguilera, more left corner, penalty kick goal. Rhinos take a 1-0 lead.
What can you say? Finally, Rochester puts one in the back of the net. Foss gets to the right side. He was correct. Got a piece of the ball, but it was low and had too much pace and gets behind the keeper. So Rochester finally gets on the scoreboard.
Aguilera removes his shirt for the celebration. You can't do that. He'll receive the yellow card in the 37th minute.
Pronto's so excited that Rochester finally was something on that scoreboard. Forgets about the new ruling about taking off your jersey, so we'll see yellow there.
All right, so the Rhinos take a 1-0 lead. Ball played to the outside, up into the stands off of Wone, so a throw in at midfield on the far side for the Rhinos.
Finally, again, Wilson just took a chance, served the ball in, you see what happens. It'll go on the net, it'll go wide, hits a hand, and Rochester now with the benefits of that.
Carrier, he tips it away on the right wing side, stops the ball along the far touchline, stepping up. Wilson, the far end of the 18, drawing it to the end line, looking for the cross, out in front of the 6, and the ball knocked away by Lyson, who drives it out to midfield. Millwood off the chest, tangled up along with Sedgwick, drops it off for Steele, and the ball popped up in the air, down to the 35. A collision, and it's knocked away by Lyson out on the far wing. Out to midfield, Steele. Long switch to the near side. John Wilson underneath it. O'Neal, but coming back to help out is Delgado. Knocks it away, and the ball kept in place still along the near touch line. Hit to the corner. Sanfilippo and John Wilson. As the ball blocked down on the end line, finally the foul is called. Foul is called on Sanfilippo, trying to reach around John Wilson.
Oh, was he ever?
You know what? I don't know a whole lot about soccer, all right? I admit that fully. But to me, that's a blocking foul. You're not giving the other guy an opportunity. Foul should be the other way around.
Really? I think shoulder to shoulder, clean challenge here.
No, he's holding the guy back.
No, his arms were down.
No, his arms were out to the side. He was blocking and turning him to the outside.
Sanfilippo had the hands up. I thought Wilson was clean with his shoulder. How dare you go against the Rhino defender?
Well, there's nothing against him, certainly, but I just disagree with that in soccer.
I didn't see his hands
that way. Well, I don't think you should be able to block a guy from going to the ball.
Everybody, you're fine.
It's a ball. Anybody belongs to anybody. Everybody has the same opportunity.
Right.
Should have.
If your arms are up, it should be a call. Again, I didn't see Wilson's arms up, though.
Mott forward. Aguilera to the outside for Sedgwick. Turning along the 35, into the middle for Allnutt. Spinning around, drops it back to his 20 for Demon. One touch off on the near side for John Wilson. And he'll pass along the 20 back to the right wing side for Wright. Drawing it forward to the 35, sneaks a pass ahead to Aguilera, one touch to the outside. Sedgwick stops it along the far touchline. He'll drop it back in the middle of the 35 for Wright. Long look downfield. Allnutt trying to get under the ball. That's headed away in the middle, and Lyson with a left foot bangs it high in the air, coming down around the 35. As Wilson pushed, but Sedgwick steps in underneath it. No, moving up his right. Draws it ahead. Kirk Wilson, 35 yards out. Tips it off on the near side. Blocked by Delgado, coming down to the 20, but carried away by Lyson as Delgado couldn't get a shot away. Off the near wing near midfield. Lyson pass across midfield. John Wilson is pushed over. Sent flying the ball out of bounds, and a throw in on the near side for the Salty Dogs. Throw in off the midfield line for Wone. We're in the 41st minute of the 1-0 Rhino lead. Pass ahead, knocked away as the foul is called. Wright coming up with the boot in the face of Carabayel around the 20.
It's an indirect kick. That's one good thing for the Rhinos, but dead center. Don said 20 yards away, so it's going to be a two-touch opportunity here for Syracuse. A dangerous position late in the first half.
All right, it'll be a great opportunity here for the Salty Dogs.
An indirect, dangerous play, but...
Let's see, did he receive a card for that?
Didn't see it, right? No, I just saw the hand up in the air for the indirect.
They just made the announcement. 42nd minute.
Yes, yellow card.
That's 3 yellows on the night against the Rhinos. Looks like Rivas to take the kick.
I need another touch, though, before he can fire it on the frame.
Wall for the Rhinos, 10 yards out, right in the middle. Wone is also there. Now he'll move away. Rivas looks like he'll just roll it out to the side, maybe for O'Neal. He's standing to his right now. Wone turns around and comes back in the mix.
He wants the wall pushed back, and he gets another step or two of space.
All right, so Rivas will touch it for Wone. Wone with the left foot, lining up for the kick. A little fakery there. Touch to Rivas, then the chip in over top of the crossbar by Wone. Right to the upper right corner and missed the net.
All that for their result, not what Syracuse needs. It'll be interesting to see how Rochester responds to putting one in the back of the net. Maybe they'll loosen up a little bit, have some fun, play some attacking soccer, and excite the fans here at Frontier.
43rd minute, 1-0 lead for the Rhinos. We'll return here Sunday, 6:05 kickoff time against the Charleston Battery. Through midfield, Fuller run up the back. Ball knocked away in the center circle. Back forward is Pato. Turns it to the outside of the near wing. John Wilson gets to it in time to keep it in play. Through midfield for Delgado. The ball blocked away off of Delgado and out. Lyson with the throw-in on the near side. On the right wing and across midfield. That one is off of Pato and out of bounds. So a throw-in on the near side again for the Salty Dogs. Near midfield, the Rochester side of midfield.
Perry's been solid defensively for the Salty Dogs, playing next to Rivas. I think he's won every challenge that's come his way.
Perry with the throw-in, line drive down to the 18, headed away by Allnut on the near side. Lyson rolls it up the right wing for O'Neal. Looks for the cross down in front, and there is Johnson to grab it off the line.
Johnson was pushing to his right, expecting the cross, but O'Neal mishit the ball. Where he turns it out, Johnson to backtrack at his goal line.
Johnson rolls it outside the 18. We're in the 44th minute. And the 1-0 Rochester lead. The Rhino goal scored on the PK by Pato Aguilera at the 37th minute.
So Pato doesn't score again. It'll be another yellow card. The jersey. What a way to get kicked out of a game, huh?
There you go, yeah. Johnson with the kick, flights it through midfield all the way down to the 30. Fuller with the flick on inside the 18, but Foss is out to just barely beat Carey area to the ball. That's the kind of opportunities that Fuller creates that Rhino's been missing for the last 2 months.
He sacrifices his body because he's just hammered from behind every time he goes for those flicks.
Headed up in the air and across midfield into Rhino territory again. Well, underneath it, Aguilera, but Bael knocks it away. Allnut volleys it through midfield. Terry's there for the Dogs to head it into the center circle. Wone lays it out on the far wing for Hall and across midfield. Knocked away to the midfield line, and up with it is Kirk Wilson. As he turns, drops it back all the way to the keeper. Well, we talk about Ian Fuller and what he's done and coming back into the lineup. I don't know. He created more scoring opportunities in the last game than the Rhinos have had total in the last 5 or 6 games, I think.
He's a presence up there. He makes the defense worry about his size. He draws 2 players to him, opens up space for other players. There was no threat from those guys before. Fuller has done a great job.
Aguilera tips it up the right side, but the ball blocked away as Carriere tried to turn for his run. In behind and across midfield as Millwood wipes out Sedgwick. Foul is called, and it'll be a free kick for the Rhinos, their own side of midfield.
It's a lot of knees torn up that way as Millwood with a wild slide tackle on Sedgwick, who's running away from him. Luckily for the Rhinos, no injury.
2 minutes of stoppage time, 2 minutes of additional time here at the first half of play. And a 1-0 Rhinos lead. Wright will take the restart.
Wright's been solid here. Done a great job pushing up. And it gets no credit for playing on the ground. It's a great player with the ball at his feet.
Long ball down inside the 18. Fuller trying to sneak it through the 6. And Foss out to grab it. Fuller almost got it through again. Thrown out on the near wing. In underneath it, O'Neal being chased by Delgado. Rolls it across midfield. Checking back to Bael, but that rolls away and out of bounds. Throw it for the Rhinos from their own 20 on the near side. John Wilson to take the throw in. We're in stoppage time here at Frontier Field. Wilson.
He wants to go to the half with the lead. Take his time.
Long run, and now takes the throw into Fuller. Settles it for Carriere at the midfield line, but that's picked off his foot by Wone, and Carriere in turn knocks it away. Rhinos have it. John Wilson from his 35 draws it up left wing side. Now chips it ahead, trying to switch on the right wing. Running onto the ball goes Kirk Wilson. Down to the 20, to the 15. Deep in the far corner, watched by Steele. Steele turns to the ball, knocks it away, and Hall comes up with it at the far end of the box. Plays it all the way out to near midfield, but that's out of play, and a throw in at midfield for the Rhinos.
That was a great ball from John Wilson, switching it to the far side of the field, right on the mark. he's had a solid first-half performance.
Wilson pulls it ahead up the left wing side again as the Rhinos have the ball their own side of midfield. Another chip ahead, this time down to the 20 for Fuller. As he's bumped, the ball sneaks through and in behind the far end of the box, chased down by Steele. Kirk Wilson on him. Steele draws it away up the far touchline. Comes away with the ball as he approaches midfield. Turns and drops it back in the middle. Kirk Wilson comes back, steals it away himself. Now sends it through to Carrieri. Far into the 18, turning in the middle, but he stumbles and goes down. Gets back up, has the ball again at the far end of the box. As he's double teamed, plays it to the outside. Cedric going to cross, and that's out over the end line. Carrieri, I think, needs longer studs or something. He's had a little trouble tonight staying on his feet.
He's got the ball too long at his feet. He's got to shoot it quicker.
Now there's the whistle, and that ends the first half of play. All right, so the Rhinos come out of the first half on top by virtue of a penalty kick goal scored back at the 37th minute. From Frontier Field in Rochester, the score at the half, the Raging Rhinos 1 and the Syracuse Salty Dogs 0. And this is the Raging Rhinos Radio Network. At Frontier Field as the Rhinos have a 1-0 lead over the Salty Dogs of Syracuse. And time now for the Marina Dogs first half statistics. As we take a look at what happened, the only goal scored in the game came in the 37th minute. And that was a penalty kick off a handball in the box awarded, and Pato Aguilera taking the kick. As he scores his 4th of the season, Aguilera with his 4th, and the Rhinos scored the only goal in the first half, the penalty kick goal. Unofficial statistics in the half, I had 5 shots for the Rhinos and 3 for the Salty Dogs. That again, unofficial statistics. Corner kicks, 3 for the Rhinos and 1 for Syracuse. Offsides, 1 against Syracuse and none against the Rhinos. So there is again your Marina Dogs first half statistics in the first half of play. And certainly the Rhinos coming up with an excellent performance. You know, not that they didn't last game, but this time at least they got a call.
They got the benefit of a call, a handball in the box. Great to see Rochester put one on the scoreboard. But again, Wilson just took a chance. He served the ball into the box, got the handball call for the Rhinos. So still some times where they're hanging on to the ball a little too long. You want to see them strike it a little sooner inside the 18. But, Wilson served the ball in the box. Rochester comes out with the PK. And things happen. Take the chance, serve it in there. It goes in, it goes wide. Handballs, you never know what happens, but take the chance.
Well, you've alluded to a couple of times that Fuller, for example, returning to the lineup, it takes him a little bit to get to know each other again. But this is the time of year when you really want to solidify the lineup. As you're heading down the stretch or the last few games, you really want to get your solid lineup set heading into the playoffs. But how do you when there's injuries, suspensions, on and on?
Got to make do with what you can. I mean, at this point here, if you've got guys who are healthy and it's starting to gel, you don't have to make too many changes. I would stick with some kind of consistent lineup if you can.
Well, he'd love to.
If you can't, then you just got to make do with what you can, because the rest of the league is going through the same kind of situation. Hope your training sessions are tight with every single player on the same page, because what you do in the training sessions translates into what happens on the field during games.
Well, I can't say enough about how many more scoring opportunities we've seen since Fuller's been back in the lineup. I guess I keep blowing the same horn, but I mean, it's a fact, I think.
He does a great job. Like I said in the first half, he's a big target player. They'll serve him the ball in the air. You're going to have 1, sometimes 2 guys on him. Opens up space. Now, as a forward, if I was playing with Fuller, I tell you, run off of Ian Fuller. Let him do the bull work. Let him do the dirty work. Pick up the pieces after he's won those physical battles, and they'll be fine.
All right, Joe will be back with a guest, or maybe even 2 if he's lucky, here at the half at Frontier Field. After one half of play, it's the Rhinos with a 1-0 lead over the Syracuse Salty Dogs, and this is the Raging Rhinos Radio Network.
There's always something happening at Soccer Sam's Pizza Pasta Cafe, Empire Boulevard in Webster. Wednesdays, come meet your favorite Rhinos player, signing autographs from 5 till 8. Plus, every table of 4 gets 1 free ticket to a future Rhinos game. Sundays, it's half-price pasta. Buy 1 and get the second dinner at half price. Mondays, kids 10 and under eat free. See restaurant for details. And don't forget Soccer Sam's for lunch, with delicious pizza slices available from 11 until 3. Soccer Sam's Pizza Pasta Cafe, 2045 Empire Boulevard in Webster.
Welcome back to Frontier Field. We played 45 minutes. Rochester leads the Syracuse Salty Dogs 1-0. Pato Aguilera scoring on a PK in the 37th minute. I'm joined by now a former member of the Syracuse Salty Dogs and now a creative master in the Rhinos midfield, Sean Shakir. Sean, welcome to the Perch.
Thanks for having me.
Great to have you up here. I'm sure you're dying to be out there against your former mates. Yellow card accumulation. Difficult sitting out against the team you used to play for?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just another game that, like Don was saying earlier, it's late in the season. You want to be out there. You don't want to be missing any games, but this one, hurts a little more than the other ones would.
Scoring a goal tonight, Pato on the PK. Wednesday, very difficult putting one in the back of the net. What's this goal going to do for the Rhinos?
Well, I think it's huge for us, because the last few games we've really been struggling putting balls in the back of the net. And like you said, the other night, we had so many chances, and that's the most frustrating part. And, I think a lot of weight was lifted off our shoulders, and I hope to get another one or two in the second half.
You're a guy who plays central midfield, very creative, nice touches on the ball. Ian Fuller comes back up front. As a creative midfielder, what does that do for you? Does it make it easier for you to serve balls in the air, on the ground? Another option for you?
Absolutely. Ian, I think, has done well. The other day when we played against Charleston, he's just somebody with a big presence who has size up front. And for somebody that can hang on to the ball up front like he can, and maybe have the speedy guys, Doug, Corey, and Chris behind him, it's just another lethal weapon that we have,
We're talking about lineup changes and transitions with players in the lineup. We've seen a lot of different combinations used here by the Rhinos due to injuries, due to a lot of games in a short period of time. You're on the field. Is it difficult getting adjusted to different guys on the flanks, different forwards?
I don't think it's too different because their styles are the same. You have guys like Dougie and guys like Chris who like to run behind the defense. So, obviously it's better to be more familiar when you're playing with the guys all the time. But we have, like Don was saying earlier, and I believe you said, the team is so deep that, when guys are injured or there's suspensions or whatever, we still have players that can do very, very well. And Pato shows that tonight. Yari's playing very well. But I think the chemistry, we don't lose too much because the style of the play is the guys are pretty similar.
How about the net tonight? Soren Johnson gets the start over Theo Zagar. Is that done to give the Rhinos a spark, a little different look in the nets?
Well, I think, not taking anything away from Theo, but Soren has been working hard in training, and maybe just because for whatever reason, Pat wanted to change things up a bit, and I'm happy for Soren. He's been waiting patiently, and the guy still trains very hard, so I know how tough that could be, sitting behind a good player like Theo. And so far he's done great, so hopefully we can get a shout-out from him.
We look at the race here in the Eastern Conference, and surprised to see that it is so tight coming down the stretch. Did you guys expect that coming into the season?
We knew that. I really do believe the East is pretty tough, and it might be a little tougher than the West. We didn't think that Charleston would be where they are. They're still a tough team, even though the record doesn't show it. And like they showed the other night, they're a tough team to beat. There's no easy game in the A-League, and especially on the East Coast. I think it's a dogfight, and Syracuse, there's 5 teams fighting for playoff spots right now.
Let's talk about Charleston. They're defending A-League champions this year. As far as A-League play is concerned, they're a stinker. They're bombing out right now. But how does a team go from A-League champions to bottom of the barrel?
That's hard to say. I know they have many of the same players as last year, but that could be something that's going on in the locker room, or maybe that could just be bad luck. But like we've gone on a stretch where we haven't won as many games as we would have liked, and our record doesn't quite show, I believe, how good of a team we do have. I don't know what's going on with Charleston. I know some of the guys, now that they can focus on the Open Cup and try to win that. Obviously the playoff run for them is done. But like I said, there's no weak team in the division, so each game's a dogfight.
How about our scoring situation here? What do you think has been the thing that's been keeping us from really finishing as much as we should? It's been hard times for scoring goals for this team.
It has been tough, and things. I hate to say it, but things just really haven't gone our way. I don't want to say that we're not creating chances, because I believe we are.
They're there.
I believe we are. And, like the other night when we played Charleston, we put 2 of those away in the first half. It's a completely different game. And, as Theo, it was a soft goal we gave up. Miscommunication, that happens when you play. But I think if we kind of buckle down and get concentrate a bit more for 90 minutes, I think we're going to have a good shot to do well.
When you dominate a game like that against Charleston and you give up a goal that's questionable against the battery, does that really kill the energy, the flow of the team?
I don't know if it kills the flow. I mean, we had another 85 minutes to equalize and get another one. I know playing against a team like Charleston, who defends very, very well, it just gave them fuel to their fire to where they knew all they had to do was sit on a 1-goal lead, and especially away from home, they don't need to try to get another goal. And I think that made it tougher for us, but in no way is that an excuse. We had 85 minutes to put it away, and we just didn't.
Telling it like it is. I know it's difficult to sit out, like we said, against your former teammates, but special night for you. You've got some friends and family here from the West Coast, we understand.
Yeah, absolutely. Both brothers came out here. It's great to see them. It's the first time for one of them and second time for the other. So just to have them around, I haven't seen them in 5-6 months. It's real nice to have them out here.
You're the baby of the family?
I'm the baby. I'm going to age them, actually.
Yeah, here we go.
I'll give it to them, actually. They're 10 and 12 years older than me.
Are they soccer guys?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So that's where you picked up the game?
Good players back in the day, and we always try to figure out who was better, but I'll give it to them. I'll say they were better.
Did they ever have a run at a pro career like yourself?
Ask them and they'll tell you, but I'll tell you the truth. No, they Tyke, the oldest one, played in San Diego Sockers for a few years, and Mike just
indoor or outdoor?
Indoor.
Nice.
Indoor. Yeah. So they were good players, similar players, all of us. Same type of players.
Left-footed?
No, they're right-footed, but not the fastest guys in the field. We'll leave it at that.
How about we talk about indoor soccer here with the San Diego Sockers in the off season? Is that something that would interest you?
Absolutely. I've never played indoor. I hear it's great. It's great for somebody to keep training, get games in, stay game fit. I don't know the indoor game too well, but if an opportunity would present itself, then that'd be something to look at.
Before I let you go, Charleston comes back here on Sunday night. Are we looking at a little revenge, a little payback to the Battery?
Absolutely. I hope some of them are listening. I don't know if they are or not, but anytime you get knocked out of something that big like an Open Cup, and it's still fresh in your mind, and they're just right back at your home to play another game, I think. Obviously we want to look at this second half and we want to get a win and get a shutout and get out of here with a W, but we definitely want to win every game, and if it's Charleston next, then we'll try to beat Charleston.
Sean Chakiris, enjoy your little time off here with the family, and we'll see you on the field against Charleston on Sunday.
Thanks for having me.
Sean Chakiris, the creative midfielder for the Rochester Rhinos, spending some time with us up in the perch. We'll come back with second half action. You're listening to the Raging Rhinos Radio Network.
Here at Frontier Field tonight, we're at the half between the Rhinos and the Syracuse Salty Dogs, where the sky is opened up a little bit here. It came down in buckets for about 2 minutes and then stopped, and now it's dribbling again, so a little bit wetter.
I'm concerned about Soccer Sam on the field there, all that hair gel. His hair might be shifting with all this rain coming down, so hopefully Sammy gets some protection.
Yeah, the young pup is what? He's a lively age of about 72 today, isn't it? His birthday? Is it his 72nd birthday? Is that what it is?
Those are big words. I want to say 35, Sammy, bud.
Okay, close. Maybe 71.
You could double his age if you want, but I say Sammy's 35. He looks fantastic, even with the wig.
All right. The official stats show that the shots were even in that first half at 3 apiece. Man, somebody was a little generous. I don't know. I
was going to say, Johnson didn't have any touches at all.
Well, he was credited with 2 saves, while Foss was credited with 1 save. So that's from the official statistician in the first half. We're about to head now to the second half. Here at Frontier Field, it is a 1-0 lead for the Rhinos over the Salty Dogs. Coming up, half number 2, and this is the Raging Rhinos Radio Network.
Give me 5, yeah, give me 5 from Salvatore's. Give me 5, oh wow, it sure sounds good to me. Give me 5, and how? Home menu delivery. 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5. That's the way to call. Give me 5, it's so good. And Salvatore's has got it all. Give me 5, yeah, give me 5 from Salvatore's.
What's on your pizza tonight? Call Salvatore's 234-5555 and order yours. Or try one of their pasta or seafood dinners, burgers, or subs with their full menu delivery. Salvatore's 234-5555.
Salvatore's will fill your plate. It's so good. Give me 5. Put a smile right on your face. Give me 5, yeah, give me 5 from Salvatore's.
Rhinos take the ball from the kickoff to open the second half, and the ball played through midfield, turned up the far wing and all the way down into the Syracuse Salty Dogs end of the field, which is to our right here in the second half of play, and played out of bounds on the far side. So it'll be a throw in on the far side of the field for the Rhinos from 25 yards out. Joe, what kind of changes do we have here in the second half?
None. Rochester, Syracuse coming out with the same starting 11.
Or they make that awful easy on you, don't they?
I love it.
Tipped in the air up top and trying for a volley kick. Aguilera, but thinned on it. Now he'll turn and spin it all the way back to midfield for Wright, and now he volleys it up the left wing side. In underneath the ball, deep in the far corner, Delgado being watched by Lysette. Pulls to the far in the box, cross for the backdoor side. Carrieri, head ball knocked down, and can't get it through. Stuck out top and then pulled away off of the near wing and brought upfield by the Dogs. The midfield, Caraballo dropping it right back for Steele. As he's upended by Wilson, the ball is controlled by the Dogs. On the near wing, Sanfilippo through midfield, but knocked away out of the near wing again. Pass at the left wing side, that went spinning out of bounds, and a throw in for the Rhinos. This time from around their own 35 on the near side. Raining at Frontier Field tonight as the umbrellas are out, and the ball brought forward by Wright.
The wind picking up also going in Rochester's favor, so they've got the wind at their back.
Wilson through midfield, Carrieri spinning it up the right wing side, sneaks by Rivas. It is Carrieri in a slide tackle, the ball taken down, and Carrieri with it, and knocked out of bounds, and a throw in on the near side for the Rhinos from around the Salty Dogs 25 on the near side.
Good hard slide tackle there from Hall. Got the ball, then the man, no call.
Sedgwick with a throw into the box, headed along in front, and the ball then booted away and out. After it, Wright stepping up to dot it to the outside for Sedgwick, but stepping in to take it away is Caraballo, and the ball volleyed downfield. Millwood on his horse, Demon in a foot race with Millwood. They both overrun the ball. Knocked loose at the near end of the 18. Millwood spinning, trying to get away now from John Wilson. Millwood still has it at his feet. Pass it in front. Demon blocks it away out of the near side. The ball rolls out of bounds. Throw in on the near side of the field, 10 yards out for the Dogs.
And as a forward, you love to see the wet conditions with a cutback move. You hope a defender slips here and there. We saw Demon go down, so it's going to change the whole complexion of the game.
It's the throw in, knocked down in front, and handball on the part of the Rhinos. It'll be a penalty kick the other way. Handball on the Rhinos. A PK is awarded to the Salty Dogs.
And Demon immediately knew the ball hit his hand, but it took a kind of a wicked bounce off the wet turf, unexpectedly hitting Demon. Now Syracuse gets a chance to even things up.
48th minute. Penalty kick is awarded the other way, and the kick will be taken by Rivas.
All not standing at the spot also, I'm sure wishing encouragement to Rene Rivas.
Rivas has 3 goals in the season, looking for his 4th, as Soren Johnson looks to make the stop on Rene Rivas, moving in, shoots, and he scores lower left corner, and this one is all even up again.
Got Johnson going the wrong way. Well, the Rhinos with a lot of work to do here. We're tied at 1. Rivas, the Brazilian, tons of experience. Very calm and cool from the spot.
All right, it's a brand new game. Each team scoring a penalty kick goal after being awarded a handball call inside the area.
Again, the rain is going to make some crazy things happen. Wild bounces, players slipping. We're not done with the goals yet.
Right away up the left wing side by John Wilson, trying to sneak it through. That's blocked. Tips it ahead again, but recovered by the Dogs and across midfield. Millwood spins around, goes down, and Wright plays it back to the keeper. Johnson stopping it inside of his 18. Well, actually, he'll back up. He takes the run and the low line drive kick through midfield. Flick on by Fuller, sends it forward, but that's headed away by Rivas. To the center circle, turn to the outside along the near wing. Out to midfield. To the outside. That went skipping away off the foot of Steele and out of bounds. Throw in for the Rhinos. Quickly Sedgwick up the right wing for Carrieri. Turns as he's double teamed, and the ball taken away. Sanfilippo sends it out through midfield. After it up the left wing side goes Millwood. On the near wing to the near end of the 18. Watched by Demon. Step over on the ball. Turning to the end line. Demon still watching. Here's the cross, and Demon tips it out over the end line. And that creates the corner kick opportunity for the Salty Dogs.
It's a good job by Demon to keep his footing. When it's wet like this, it's hard for defenders to get a good plant. And as a forward, you can cut back, force them into awkward positions. But Demon did a good job keeping his footing and good positioning.
Ball placed in the corner. Lone left-footed kicker to take this kick off the left wing side. Serves it up in the box. Headed away by Fuller, up in the air and out of the box, and then flicked away by Wilson off of the near side. Dogs up with it again. Near into the 18. Won't cross in front. That's headed away by Delgado. Bicycle kick as Aguilera will send it all the way out to the center circle. Skipping by Perry. Turns back for the ball his own side of midfield. Rain continues here at Frontier Field. Perry on the right wing. Sends it up the wing and into Rhino territory. Skipping through to the end line. And it is stopped there by Soren Johnson. Rhino keeper has the ball. 51st minute. Even at 1. It's brought forward by John Wilson. With the right foot, sends it out through midfield. Fuller trying to get to it. That's knocked away by Perry. Cross midfield, up they go, and the ball skipping through. Knocked down by Millwood in the center circle, and then taken away by Aguilera. Turns it ahead for Allnut, drops it off, and Kirk Wilson back in the center circle for Aguilera. Sneaks it ahead. Delgado trying to tip it loose. He does for Fuller, but can't get to the ball, and it's jammed away out and downfield by Perry. Turning back go the Rhinos. Down into their own end of the field, along the 25 and into the middle for Demon.
5 minutes in, Rochester, a lot of play in their own half of the field here to start the second 45.
Cedric drops it back. Demon with a left foot boots it out through midfield. That's headed into the center circle. Wone will knock it down. Turned off on the near wing. Up with it is Hall. Sends it through midfield for Millwood. Back heel and the ball knocked away. And a collision. Wright and Millwood go down. The foul is called on Dave Wright.
It's a tough call there. They get tangled up. They both go down. Let the play continue. That's a no call there.
Well, the restart for the Salty Dogs. 45 yards out off the left wing side. 52nd minute at Frontier Field. Even at 1. As the rain, it's not terribly hard, but it still does continue.
Done its damage already. The surface is wet. The ball picking up some pace here, so look for some balls to skip behind defenders.
Low delivery down inside the 18. Millwood with a dribbler in and diving to his right. Johnson comes up with the ball on the second hop as he picks it off the turf.
David Wright did just enough to knock Millwood off the ball. He couldn't make full contact on the turnaround shot there, as it harmlessly falls to Soren Johnson.
Right ahead into the center circle. Kirk Wilson turns it forward, looking for the through ball, but Hall steps in to knock it away. Wilson in turn knocks it down to the center circle once again. Pato up the right wing for Carriere and slide again. It's knocked away and out of bounds. Throw in on the near side for the Rhinos. From 40 yards out to be taken by Billy Sunswick. Goes short in the throw-in. Fuller, one touch back to Sedgwick. Rolls the ball ahead again, and Carriere was blocked away, couldn't get to it. That was at midfield, and chipped it ahead. Knocked away at the near end of the box. Wilson down inside. Carriere moving in to the end line. Right-footed. That's knocked down, and the ball is kicked away out the line. And is blasted on the far side and out by O'Neill. Man, oh man, does Foss come up with a block in the shot by Carriere.
It was a tough angle, but Carriere making full contact on it. No one there to pick up the garbage for the Rhinos to neatly tuck it away.
Again, it's crossed along the 18, but blocked away and out as the Rhinos applying some pressure here. Brought over the far wing and then hammered out through midfield. Millwood trying to sneak it through off of the far side, chasing the ball up the right wing. As he looks along the 18, being watched by Wright, still has it. Step over on the ball, still has it. Turns along the 18, trying to get away, and the ball blocked to the end line. There's a cross, but it was out over the line, and a goal kick for the Rhinos. Sponsors of these broadcasts include Blueberry Hill, upscale apartment living, a Faber community. Marina Dodge at 943 Ridge Road in Webster. Dunkin' Donuts located throughout the Rochester area. And also Auto Depot USA, online at AutoDepotDirect.com.
The former Rhino Tomac Suarez warming up with some short sprints down the near sideline here, so Rhino fans could see one of their former stars.
Ball now delivered out through midfield. That's knocked down. Almost looked like a handball there by Lyson, but the ball is then volleyed away and downfield into Rhino territory.
Johnson with the long punt, with the wind at his back, rainy conditions, let loose, serve the ball deep into the Syracuse box.
Ball delivered out through midfield by Demon. Headed to the outside, turned back at the midfield line. Aguilera falls, goes down, and in the center circle, it's recovered by the Dogs. Pass out of the near wing for Steele up the left wing side. Trying to get loose, turned in the middle, and then he's tripped up and taken down by Kirk Wilson. So foul is called. Free kick for the Dogs. 35 yards out off the left wing side, and the wind is picking up.
And Steele giving Wilson a little bit of his own medicine. Wilson famous for that cutback move. That time Steele executes it perfectly.
Pass in the middle. Moving in. Rivas fakes. Turns to his left. Sneaks the ball through. Near side. Steele with a cross, but that one is hammered away by Aguilera on the near side. Steele got the shot off, but Kirk Wilson blocked it. Throw in on the near wing once again for the Salty Dogs. Wone down in front. That's knocked down. Comes out the near end of the box and up with it. Sedgwick with the right foot drives it ahead, but knocked down by O'Neill. As he and Kirk Wilson tie up. Knocked loose on the near wing. Fuller checking back. Steals the ball and a pass into the middle on the 35 for Allnut. Center circle, lays it out on the left wing, and Delgado across the midfield line. Delgado on the attack. Wilson overlapping. Delgado slips it ahead to the far end of the box. Allnut after it, but won't get there as Perry kicks it up into the stands in the far corner and out of bounds. Throw in for the Rhinos. Deep for the left wing corner.
That's where he missed like a Trout, a long throw in these wet conditions. We'll see if Delgado can get some pace and some distance here.
Delgado's throwing short into the box, but headed away on top. That's knocked loose along the 18. That was the Syracuse player crossing it. And the ball is shipped up the right side by Sedgwick, but too much on it. It's out of bounds. Throw in the near side for Syracuse from their own 18. 56th minute, even at 1. Rhinos scored on a PK in the first half. And the Salty Dogs answered to the PK goal in the second half. And the ball popped up in the air, coming down to the center circle, headed away, off of the near wing. Up with it is Carabayal, drops it to the outside along the left wing. Oh, steal over across, down along the 18, headed up in the air. And John Wilson is there to knot it on the near wing, and then Sedgwick volleys it out to the 35. There it's picked up again by the Dogs, blocked away by Allnut, but Wone heads it forward. Right stepping in for the Rhinos to block it. Brings the ball away and a pass in the middle for Aguilera. Turns it off on the left wing side, and running onto the ball goes John Wilson. 56th minute, and even at 1 at Frontier Field. Long service ahead, but that's headed away by Perry out to the 40 and toward the center circle. Wone up with the ball for the Dogs. Turns it through midfield, checking back right, knocks it away for Kirk Wilson. The Rhinos have it.
Good step by David Wright. He's been solid here tonight.
In the middle, Fuller back heel, and that one blocked away. Bouncing ball, shanked off the side of the foot of Perry. He recovers and puts it up into the stand on the near side. So a throw in for the Rhinos, 30 yards out on the near side of the field.
And I tell you, the goals are not done. There's going to be some miscues with the rain here tonight. So Rochester take advantage of any mistakes that Syracuse may make defensively.
Actually, the throw in from about 20 yards out. Sedgwick throw into the near end of the box. Flick on attempt by Allnut. Couldn't get up high enough for it. Blocked away by Wright. Now he'll send it along the 18, but that's booted away all the way out to the midfield circle. John Wilson under the ball. His through ball. Back heel. Hits Fuller. Feeds it in front. And trying to get loose. Delgado shot with the right side, and he misses just wide of the right post. That is evidently blocked away off of Syracuse. It'll be a corner kick.
But what a great touch from Ian Fuller to spring Delgado. And Delgado, you can see his left foot is hurting him. He's always cutting back to his right. Gets some pace on the shot. But again, Fuller checking back, drawing some defenders with him, opening up some space. Delgado had a ton of space in front of him.
Pato Aguilera for the service off the right wing side. Here comes the kick. High for the backdoor side. Demon tried to knot it back in front, but couldn't get to it, and that zips all the way through and out the other side. Other sponsors of these broadcasts include Clarion Riverside Hotel with 400 rooms, banquet space, and Bennigan's Grill and Tavern. Gatto and Yakovangelo, full-service law firm. And by World Gym, official strength training facility of the Rochester Sports Group. Throw in on the far side for the Dogs, headed away at midfield, but foul is called, so it'll be a free kick for the Salty Dogs at the midfield line on the far side. 58th minute, even at 1.
Let's not forget Syracuse 4 points behind the Rhinos. Late in the season, they're not going to sit back and go for the tie with the win. They dropped to 1 point behind Rochester in that crucial playoff race.
Pass off of the far wing to Millwood. That's knocked away and out of bounds. Off of the Rhinos, so a throw in for Syracuse on the far side of the field. The Dogs looking for their 8th straight win. They've won the last 7 straight. As the ball hammered along the 18, stepping in, Kirk Wilson knocks it away for Pato. Turns it aside for Demon. He'll roll it ahead to the center circle for Carrieri. Checking back for the ball. One touch to the outside and nobody's there.
Well, Wilson's the outside player. They're always pushing central.
Aguilera taken down. Sedgwick sliding in, but brought away by Steele. Here's a long cross, and up in the air it is 3. To bring the ball down is Johnson. Underneath the ball, makes no mistake about it.
Carrieri, his intention is good there. Wilson should be wide there at the touchline, but he's always pushing central.
Right away upfield. Sedgwick rolls it to the outside of the right wing for Kirk Wilson, dropping it back for Sedgwick. First times it through midfield. Fuller trying to get in behind as Rivas slips off the ball, but turns and comes away. Sends it through midfield. Carabayal blocked off the ball. Steele drops it off. Wone with a return pass up the left wing, but nobody there. Rolls down inside the 18 and grabbed by Johnson, the keeper.
You look at the central part of the field for Syracuse. Rivas, ton of experience. Ian Wone, over 200 games with Nottingham Forest. So the center part of the field just controlled by guys who've been all over the world, played a lot of soccer, keep the rest of the team composed.
Downfield knocked out of bounds on the far side. Throw in for the Rhinos to the far end of the 18. Ball knocked down to the 18. And a foul is called as Fuller was grabbed onto. Finally, that call is being made.
Who else? It's Fuller again. Big target man. Draws the crowd. The Rhinos now with another dangerous restart. The quality of the service on quarter kicks and some of these free kicks has not been there lately. We'll see if things improve here for Pato.
Now, this is 20 yards out off the left wing side near the far corner of the box.
Definitely strikeable on goal for Pato from this position.
Aguilera tees it up. Takes a look.
Ball's wet. Foss could have some trouble handling the ball also.
Off the right foot, an in-swinging kick. Here's low into the box, but headed away. All right, back to Aguilera. Settles the ball now, pops it high in the air. Up in the air. Foss comes down with it at his 8. And underneath him was Fuller. Foss throws it off on the far side. Brought away by the Salty Dogs, then dropped back. In the middle, pass to Perry. Turns it to the outside of the right wing. And into Rhino territory, brought forward. Snuck ahead by O'Neill up the wing as Millwood gets turned around and the ball brought away by the Rhinos. Delgado in the middle along his 35. Long cross to the outside up the right wing for Kirk Wilson. Settles the ball off his chest, turns back toward the middle. Along the 35 to get away. Spins back with the ball, drops it off at the center circle for Aguilar, and he'll chip it up the right side. Sedgwick running on to the ball to the end line. Won't get there. It's out over the end line. And a goal kick for the Salty Dogs. Goal kick. Sponsors of these broadcasts, Golden Memories, the bus company the Rhinos use. Vision Nissan at 785 Ridge Road in Webster. Salvatore's Pizza, the families from Rochester and proud of it. And by Zweigel's, providing sausage and meat products since 1880.
That Erkley with some players warming up. Miller, Woolfolk, and Trout loosening up behind the goal.
Goal kick from Foss, drives it out through midfield. Stepping up, Dave Wright heads it the other way, but that's knotted down to the center circle, and Wone chips it forward. Underneath it, John Wilson for the Rhinos, volleys it through midfield, and we're just bouncing back and forth like a volleyball game. Again, hammered into Rhino territory is Millwood's in behind offside. Flag on the far side of the field is in the air, and finally the play stops.
Yeah, we'll see which midfield decides to step up and take control of this game.
Through midfield, Fuller, one touch to the outside for Delgado. On the far touchline, knocked out of bounds, throw in for the Rhinos.
How is that a Syracuse throw?
Well, the refs reverses the call. It is throw in for the Dogs on the far side. 63rd minute, even at 1. Throwing across midfield, diving into, headed away, was Wright, and the ball back in the center circle. Foul is called and a restart for the Rhinos.
I thought Wright has been sacrificing his body. He's pushing up. Tremendous defending there from David Wright.
Have a little bit of a discussion between Yari Allnut and Sanfilippo.
Sanfilippo called a pit bull by his coach, Laurie Calloway.
Out the right wing side, but headed away. Out top, center circle, up with it again. He's right in the circle. Turns to draw it away. Feeds it to John Wilson, who chips it up the left wing side. Knocked down along the 18, and then it's booted away. On the far side and out to midfield for Millwood. Out the right wing and into Rhino territory. Turns back to get away from John Wilson. Drops it along the midfield line. Salty Dogs on the attack. Into the center circle. Turning back in the middle. Sanfilippo looking for the through ball. And John Wilson slides in to knock it away. Adds Demon to push it off of the far wing for Delgado. Rhinos have it. Delgado watched by Sanfilippo. Able to slip it up the wing. Checking back for the ball. Fuller bumped. And a foul is called. And we'll have a restart for the Rhinos from their own 35.
Play on. A little contact there. He's still able to make a nice pass to Allnut. Rochester's over midfield. The whole run of the play stopped with the goal.
Can't believe the way you're all over the refs tonight. Man, oh man.
That's one. If there's a pet peeve,
good thing I'm here.
Let the play continue wherever you can. They stop it too many times.
Up the left leg side. That's taken as Fuller checks back for the ball, slides in to knock it away, tried to knock it away again, but the ball carried off by the Dogs, and a pass in the center circle, knocked down by Demon. The Rhinos have it.
Did you say good thing you were here?
A good thing I'm here.
Okay,
to keep you even.
Okay.
As Allnut pulled down and a yellow card on Sanfilippo, grabbing onto Allnut. And the card came out right now in the 65th minute.
And you knew that was coming because both Allnut and Sanfilippo got a verbal warning about 2 minutes earlier. And the next one to cause a foul there was getting the card.
Well, that's the first plastic of the night going to the Salty Dogs. Rhinos had 3 yellows in the first half.
And I'm surprised Syracuse, very physical, chippy team like their coach, Laurie Calloway, who played the NASL. Remember him playing with Telsa, one of the hard-nosed players from that league. So they really take after their coach.
It's going to be Demon to serve it up with a left foot, chips it down inside the 18. Battle for the ball, and the ball blocked away. However, a foul is called in the area, so we'll have a free kick for the Dogs at about their own 8-yard line. 65th minute at Frontier Field, even at 1, and 10,527 the attendance tonight, 10,527.
Woolfolk getting ready to check in here for the Rhinos. We'll see what kind of adjustment this is.
I bet you it's for Fuller. As Ian Fuller has gone played at 90 last game, 65 tonight, and he's leaning over with his hands on his knees, and he's got to be spent at this point.
It'll be Fuller coming off. He's done a great job touching the ball, winning balls, and challenging for the Rhinos.
Long downfield to the 20. Demon heads it in the air, checking back all net. It's knocked loose by Aguilera. He'll volley it downfield, and on the right wing side, in underneath it goes Rivas, tipping it back to the keeper. Foss will send it away. Right in turn by Allnet, stepping up, knocking it loose. Wilson for Carrieri, trying to feed him from it. That's knocked away and carried off by the Salty Dogs. Lone pass in the center circle. It's turned to the outside on the right wing. Brought forward by the Dogs. Into Rhino territory along the 25 in the middle. Carabayel blocks it, knocks it down, and Demon able to slip it out to midfield for Alma, giving it off to Kirk Wilson. Turns into the center circle. Lays it out on the left wing side for Carrieri and across midfield. He'll send it downfield. Alma trying to get through it, but won't as it bounces twice inside the 18 and grabbed by the keeper, Foss.
It's good to see that Wilson likes to turn central, but at times if he just takes a look to the outside, he's got players wide open. Fuller had a ton of space, but Wilson had his head down and went to the center part of the field.
Substitution, Fuller checking off, and Woolfolk in the 67th minute. What a job by Ian Fuller.
Great to have him back. Good target man up front. We'll see if Woolfolk can recreate the magic as that super sub off the bench, scoring goals left and right. We'll see what happens here.
Right ahead now. Woolfolk steps in underneath it at the 35, slips it to the outside. Delgado chasing to the corner, won't catch up to the ball. Out of bounds and a throw in deep in the far corner for the Salty Dogs.
I think Woolfolk making the most of his opportunity here in Rochester after sitting behind. We're playing with Thiago Martins, who had an incredible goal-scoring year with Pittsburgh in 2003.
Throw in, and that's headed up in the air and out of bounds again. Another throw in, this time for the Rhinos, from about 10 yards out of the far side of the field. Substitution as Trout is in, and Delgado coming out now in the 68th minute. This will be the second sub of the night for the Rhinos.
Trout normally likes to play on the right flank. We'll see if Wilson shifts over and Trout stays on the right.
All right, nice job by Delgado.
He's not 100% left leg bothering him tonight, but did a decent job on that left flank. Trout redirecting some traffic here. He'll take the throw in.
And for the Salty Dogs, we'll be seeing Barnes coming in just a moment. Barnes homer. All right, the throw in. And the flick on by Allnet ends up in the end line and out over the end line as Woolfolk couldn't get the right foot on it. So goal kick for the Salty Dogs. 68th minute, even at 1 here at Frontier Field.
So Trout does stay at left midfield. Wilson stays on the right.
And it'll be Barnes in for Carabayel in the 68th minute.
Carabayel, a big target man up front for Syracuse, did a good job with the ball at his feet, that creative Argentinian or South American style, and solid player with the ball at his feet. Looks like he's out of gas. He's been very quiet here in the second half.
Certainly has done the damage to the Rhinos last game and played very well in this one tonight. Here's a low kick out through midfield as the ball tipped out of the near side, and ahead up the left wing is Steele. He and Barnes teaming up over the years in England. They're both 18-year-olds. They've known each other for quite a while.
Laurie Kelly with connection still back to England there, as he played for Sheffield over there, so he's got some ties looking for players in England.
Throws in short to Millwood. Now chipped up the left wing side for Steele. Pops the ball up in the air as he's bothered by Wilson. Trying to get loose in the near of the box, and it's taken away by Wright. Turns to the outside, and a foul is called on Steele. Free kick for the Rhinos. Long boot downfield. Trying to sneak through and in behind. Turning back goes Perry. Corey Woolfolk on him. Knocks it down. Turns to the 18. Trying to skip loose. Drops it back. Moving in. Trout can't get a shot away. That's out to the 35. All that drawing it up the right side. Tried to tip it up the right wing, but it's blocked away. Now Wilson after the ball, but escaping is Wone. Pass off in the near wing for Steele up through midfield, and the ball rolls out of bounds. Throw in on the near side for the Rhinos to be taken by Sedgwick at the midfield line.
Still refusing to hit the ball from 18 yards out. One too many passes again there for the Rhinos.
Chipped into the middle, trying to get in. Trout heads it down inside, but that one blocked away and out by Rivas over the far wing, and it's carried off and up the right side by Sanfilippo. Pass to the outside along the far wing. Across midfield, O'Neal for Barnes as he's bumped off the ball by Demon. It's knocked out, and the throw-in on the far side for the Salty Dodge. 70th minute at Frontier Field, even at 1. Back out top. Carried through the center circle, giving it off to Wone. Lost control as Allnut in. Tips it loose, and the Rhinos have it. Up the right side, Sedgwick to the 35. Drops it back for Kirk Wilson. Turns to the middle, giving it off to Sedgwick. He'll drop it back for Wright. Longest 35 in the middle, and with the left foot, will drive it away and downfield. Up goes Rivas to block the ball. Then he's up-headed, taken down. Wilson moving forward. Kicks it ahead. Woolfolk sprinting around 20 yards out. Taken down. A foul is called. Foul on Perry, and the Rhinos will have a great opportunity. This one will be 20 yards out, a little bit to the right of center.
Perfect opportunity to strike the ball here for the Rhinos. And again, restarts have been a trouble for this team. Carrieri can strike these well. Pato's been struggling with the service, so we'll see who gets the nod for the strike. So Coach Erkley is calling Carrieri back. Nope, he'll walk over.
Which way? Go this way. No, go that way. No, come back here. No, go the other way. All right, so both Carrieri and Pato are there. Now a party will be joined by Kirk Wilson.
There's a gap there to the keeper's left.
Ball stepped over to the outside for Carrieri, near into the box to give it the cross, but it's off the foot of Millwood, over the end line, and a corner kick for the Rhinos.
Luckily, Rochester gets the corner, but again, from a spot like that, you got to hit the ball. It's wet. You never know what happens. Take the chance.
Aguilera will serve it up off the right wing side. Chips it into the box, moving it on. That couldn't get up high enough for the head ball, and it's knocked away on the far wing, rolling across midfield and out of bounds. Throw in for the Rhinos at the midfield line on the far side.
That was a great service from Aguilera. Someone's got to be there between the 6 and the 12. Pinpoint service from Pato.
John Wilson with the throw in off the left wing side. Cross midfield, checking back. Woolfolk drops it off at the midfield line. Pato taking it into the center circle for Wright. He'll slip it one touch up the left wing side and brought forward by John Wilson. Turns to the outside, step over on the ball to get away from O'Neal. Now tips it up the corner, and after it goes Trout to the end line. Looking for the cross, and it's crossed out over the end line. Goal kick for Foss of the Salty Dogs. Other sponsors of these broadcasts include Tire World at 2049 Empire Boulevard in Webster, Bollier Chevrolet, Oldsmobile, and Buick in Honeoye Falls, Westmont Apartments, Studio, 1 and 2 bedroom apartments and gates, and by Spinning Webs, the official website provider of the Rhinos. On ball flighted downfield, blocked away by Demon. In turn up in the air, but Demon pops it up in the air, and it's chested back into his 18 by Dave Wright, right to the keeper, Johnson. The Rhino keeper with the ball. He'll drive it away out through midfield. Allnut flicks it on down inside the 18. Big bounce, and out to grab it is Foss as Woolfolk was right here on the doorstep. And it looks like another forward coming into the match for the Rhinos.
Carrier looks like he'll be coming off.
All right. Half volley kick by Foss. High floater all the way down to the Rhino 18, and Sedgwick lets it go. The end line where it's grabbed by Johnson.
I don't think Johnson expected the ball to be let loose there from Billy Sedgwick.
Johnson brings it back out, rolls it outside the 18, and then he sends the low line drive kick through midfield. Trout settles it, drops it back at the midfield line for John Wilson. One touch ahead, but that's right to Syracuse, and then it's knocked into the center circle. Wright stepping up to intercept, and he'll nod it forward for Allnut. Turns into the center circle, drops it back. Wright has a midfield pass through to Kirk Wilson. Steps on the ball, stumbles, goes down, and the ball is carried away by the Salty Dogs. Turn to the outside of the near wing and across midfield. Steele chips it down inside the 18. Johnson is there. That one blocked away out top. Moving in open net, and Johnson diving, knocks it away out over the end line. Oh, diving save by Johnson. Comes back in the play along the 6 and gets a hand on it.
Almost a carbon copy of what we saw with Zagar and Valencia on Wednesday. Keeper coming off his line. You're coming, you better win the ball there. Luckily, Johnson able to recover and knock the ball away from that open net. There's some miscommunication there for Johnson coming off his line.
75th minute, Carrieri is out and Miller is in. Corner kick off the right wing side. Now it'll be Vende in and Millwood out for the Salty Dogs, also in the 75th minute.
Vende forward, Millwood coming off.
All right. Vende came in the other night in Syracuse and scored. In along the 6, headed away by Wright up the near end of the box. Barnes drops it back out of the 35. Steele along the near wing, trying to sneak through. Off the wing for Barnes on the near side. Turns back, and the cross down in front at the 6. It's grabbed by Johnson.
A dangerous redirect there as it was cleared off the Rhino defender. Johnson luckily gets the ball right in his midsection.
Johnson sends it out through midfield. Off on the near wing, nobody there for the Rhinos. Hall along the near side will volley it the other way, and Wright heads it aside on the near wing for Billy Sedgwick. Rolls it into the middle. Aguilera takes it. Cross to the outside as he switches it off on the left wing for John Wilson. Slides away as he kept the ball in play. Then he slid right out of play. On the far side, crossing front, but Aguilera comes back to knock it away. In the middle, O'Neal drops it off. Sanfilippo off the right side to the outside along the far wing. Drop back on top again. Here's a high cross in front. Johnson moving in. Punches it away out of the box. That's knocked down. A shot. It blocked away by Demon. Comes out high again at the 35. And the ball down in front. Head ball to the right side, and back to the left side is out over the end line, and a goal kick for the Rhinos. Wow.
And the Salty Dogs applying the pressure. Soren Johnson, when he punches the ball away, not when I'm punching it to the top of the 18, continues the whole attack there for Syracuse, but again, on the road, they're tied with Rochester. They're not going to sit back. Rochester a bit out of shape defensively, leaving some gaps for Syracuse to expose.
Johnson, low line drive, kick center circle. Aguilera will get a flick on as Woolfolk drops it on, that return pass, and bounced away out the leg of Woolfolk, and on the far side, carried off by the Dogs across midfield. O'Neal chipping it up the right side. Barnes and Demon going to the corner, and the ball is out of bounds.
Demon with the foul.
Foul being called, and so a free kick for the Salty Dogs, 15 yards out on the far side of the field.
I think Demon had a little hold of the jersey there as Homer Barnes, with a bit of speed there, got around Demon and actually had the ball in bounds.
77th minute at Frontier Field, even at 1. And the Salty Dogs will have the restart.
They're throwing some numbers in the box. 2 players back defending, everyone else pushing up.
Here's the restart. Ball across the goal mouth out the near side. Over the end line, and a goal kick for the Rhinos. 77th minute, even at 1.
The Rhinos right. Sedgwick unhappy with the officials. Got to play the game. Forget about that. Tighten up defensively. Syracuse starting to knock on the door here.
Johnson placing the ball at the 6. The rain continues to fall here at Frontier Field. Kick into the center circle, but no further, and then volleyed into Rhino territory. Back goes Wright to head it out to the midfield line. Knocked down, and Wone drives it up the near side. Rolling ball, and nobody will get to it. It's out of bounds. Throw it on the near side for the Rhinos from their own 15. Throw in to be taken by Sedgwick. Takes a look ahead. Long up the wing, but that's headed toward the middle by Steele. And up with the ball finally is Trout, and he'll drive it in the air downfield. Woolfolk trying to turn it behind, way outside the 18. Foss will hammer it away in downfield. Big bounce all the way inside the 18 to Johnson. Now the Rhino keeper with the ball. With the right foot. Volleys it out through midfield. Headed up in the air, coming down to the midfield line. As John Wilson gives Barnes a little bit of a push.
Got to get some control of the midfield. Yari and Pato, not enough touches to create for the guys up top. This is where Syracuse is taking control of the game. We've called Wone's name a lot for Syracuse. He's winning the midfield battles.
So, free kick for the Salty Dogs. We're in the 79th minute, and even at 1. Rhinos are back here Sunday to meet the Charleston Battery. 6:05 is kickoff time Sunday night. That's chipped down inside the 18. Right heads it away on the far wing. That's knocked down, and Allnut can't get it away as a shot hammered in by Steele, but way high and out over the end line.
Wishful thinking there from Steele from a distance. He's got 2 assists in his last 3 games. That time looking to make something happen from a way out.
Substitution coming up as it'll be Steenkamp checking in. It looks like for Yari Allnut. 79th minute here at Frontier Field.
This is a good move by the Rhinos. Again, Allnut, Pato. Had a quiet second half here. Rochester's got to regain the midfield. That's where the game will be won here tonight. And Steenkamp has had a solid showing the last couple of games.
With the right foot, Johnson sends it through midfield. On that bump from behind, a foul is called, and a free kick for the Rhinos out of the center circle. Substitution being called for. Steenkamp will be checking in, and Yari Allnut will come off now in the 80th minute.
And this really gives Pato a lot of free reign to attack. And Lennon Steenkamp, look at that defensive midfielder who destroys. Pato can push up and attack, and at times Steenkamp can surprise by getting into the attack as well.
Nice job by Yari Allnut. Looked really good, I think, the last couple of games. With the right foot, Wright puts it down inside the 18. That would knock back out top, and a foul is called on Steenkamp, and so it'll be a free kick for the Salty Dogs down inside their 18-yard box.
You should see Pato push up in front of Steenkamp, playing almost like a diamond formation in the midfield.
Voss jams it out through midfield. That's flick on, and getting back is Wright to head it aside. Trout couldn't reach it. That's headed up the right wing side, the far end of the box, knocked down. In front, side volley, kick taken by Vende, but high over top of the net and over the end line, and a goal kick for the Rhinos. Sponsors of these broadcasts include Nextel, sponsor of the Nextel Direct Connect call-in show following each game. Caledonia Country Club, open to the public Mondays and Tuesdays. The Soccer Report, Tuesday evenings at 6:30 on WYSL 1040 AM. And also by Best Volvo at 1500 University Avenue. Through into the center circle. Headed to the outside after it O'Neal on the right wing. As he'll slip it, but now it's blocked away and out of bounds.
I still see Pato kind of sitting back as a defensive midfielder. I think he'd be more effective just withdrawn behind Woolfolk and Doug Miller up top.
Right across midfield, Trout blocked away, taken by John Wilson, a pass in the middle. That's Pato to drop it back for Demon. One touch to the outside, John Wilson back in the middle. Pato drops it back to his 25 for Wright. Turns and looks downfield, moves to the near side. He'll drive a high one through midfield, off of the left wing. Trout, one touch in the middle, but nobody's there for the Rhinos.
That's the space Pato's got to be occupying right there. Perfect ball.
Carried ahead through midfield, touched in the center circle, but not at his side. Kirk Wilson turns, steals it away. Cross midfield, through ball to Woolfolk. Sneaks through. Here's Woolfolk in behind. Moving down, shoots, blocked away, and the ball bounces out on the near side. Woolfolk could not get it by Foss, who steals it away. Great save. Man, oh man.
A good through ball to get Woolfolk behind the defense. Foss extending out with the left arm. Miller just a bit ahead of the play, unable to finish off the garbage.
Cross midfield. Trout to make that. Miller touching it all the way to the outside. Deep in the far corner. Great hustle by Trout to keep it in. Or did he?
No, he did a handball on the slide tackle there. On the slide.
Great hustle anyway.
He's non-stop. His work rate is amazing down that flank.
All right, so it'll be a free kick out of the right wing corner for the goalkeeper, Byron Foss. 83rd minute of Frontier, even at 1. Season series all even up. Each team with a win, plus there was one tie. This is the fourth and final matchup of the season. That one is put up into the stands by Foss, so a throw-in quick for the Rhinos. Up the wing, but knocked away and out again. Another throw-in for the Rhinos off the left wing side. Be taken by Trout. Waiting for a dry ball. Gets it and set for the throw-in.
Got to see Demon or Wright push up here. Fuller's out, so the big target man is off.
There's the throw-in, goes short. Flick on by, Steenkamp goes back to the outside, deep to the corner. Now crossed down in front by Trout, and the ball knocked away, carried off by the Dogs and passed out of play on the far side. Throw in near midfield on the far side for the Rhinos.
Throwing was a little trickery there from the Rhinos. Normally it's Steenkamp with the flick, but this time nods it back to Trout. So good little creative play there from the Rhinos. Ball back to across midfield. Wright draws it ahead across midfield for Steenkamp. Through the center circle, pass to the outside of the near wing, and nobody will get to it. It's out of bounds and a throw-in on the near side for the Dogs, their own side of midfield. Hall will step up for the throw-in on the left wing, cross midfield. Flick on by Barnes. Up they go. Sedgwick blocks it away, but out of bounds on the near side, and a throw-in for the Dogs. To the corner for Steele. Demon steps in to take the ball away. As the ball rolls to the end line, Demon taken down, and the foul is called on Steele. Interesting challenge there from Steele. 84th minute. Even at 1. Between the Rhinos and the Salty Dogs, and neither team wanting to give an inch.
As the ball played downfield, that squirts loose to Trout, trying to sneak it through and behind. Miller down to the 18, left wing side, and the ball knocked away by Lyson as Miller was ready to tee it up. Corner kick for the Rhinos off the left wing.
Miller, no stranger. He scores goals against Syracuse. That time just not able to get behind Lasan, but dangerous corner kick here now. Rochester, you can see they're bringing the big guys in. Demon, Wright, Steenkamp. Nice targets in the box for Pato.
And here comes the service in the box. That one's skipping through and out the near side, out over the end line. Corner kick on the near side for the Rhinos. Evidently put away and out over the end line by the Dogs.
The balls are there at the 6, at the 12, and these corner kicks. Syracuse just a step faster than Rochester getting to the ball.
All right, Pato set to serve it up again. This time off the right wing side. Here it comes, chip to the middle of the 18. Head ball, but comes back out, way up over top of the net and out. Had a head ball by Woolfolk, I believe.
Yeah, Woolfolk was there, but Demon was wide open behind him. Not sure if he called for the leave there, as Woolfolk got a little too deep for the header there, but a good effort nonetheless.
So the goal kick as we approach the 86th minute at Frontier Field, and an even-up score of 1-1. All plays to the 6. Voss with the right foot, drives it out through midfield. Floating ball coming down to the Rhino 35. Demon steps up, heads it back to the midfield line. That's knotted aside. Steenkamp settles it, chips it off on the right wing, and the open side of the field, nobody there. Finally skips out of bounds. Throw in on the near side of the field for the Dogs from their own 35.
If you look at Pato and Steenkamp, they're side by side. Pato's got to push up a little more, give another number in the attack for the Rhinos.
Steenkamp along midfield, able to tip it forward. Coming back, Woolfolk heads into the center circle, but it's knocked away by Sanfilippo. Out of the far wing, Trout for the Rhinos, chasing it down, turning to get away from O'Neill. At midfield, drops it to his own side of midfield for Demon. Rolls it ahead in the center circle. Steenkamp won't get there, and Steele takes it away. Wone in the circle. As Wilson after him. Steenkamp blocks it away, and the Rhinos recover the ball. Steenkamp in the center circle. Aguilera touching it to the outside. Up the right wing goes Sedgwick. Team chaser behind. Stops to get away from Steele, and lost control of the ball. Still has it. Moving back in, slips and slides, and drops it off for Pato. Chips it down into the 18. Nobody makes the run, and the ball is out over the end line. And we have Wone as he is giving the referee a pretty good tongue lashing.
Kirk Wilson quiet here in the second half. Not a lot of touches on the ball. But again, Pato and Steenkamp side by side in the midfield. Not the system that we need to see. Pato's got to push up just behind those two guys and create for them and offer them some support up top.
Goal kick, 87th minute, even at 1. Flicked by Steele, but he's up the back of Wilson. And so the foul is called. And a free kick for the Rhinos from their own 45.
I think Wone has a comment after every single call. Non-stop on top of the official.
Sedgwick on the restart. Set with the right foot. As the players move away, and now Hale delivered all the way down to the 18. As Steenkamp heads it back in front, and the ball is to the end line. However, a foul is called, and so it'll be a free kick for the Salty Dogs.
A little nudge from behind there from Steenkamp and Rochester here in the second half. No flow to the game here. It's been a choppy game, a lot of calls, a lot of stoppages. After the PK, Rochester able to get some rhythm going here.
Substitution for the Salty Dogs. Lowe will be coming in. And Perry will check off here in the 88th minute.
Perry's had a nice game, gets a little shake from Laurie Calloway. He's met every challenge, every ball that's come his way in the air, on the ground, he's been up to. He's been solid defending for Syracuse.
At the right foot, the drive through midfield. That goes Demon to head it aside. Steenkamp steps in, but the ball bounced away. However, he gets back in time for it. Turns from his 25 and drives it out through midfield. But in the center circle, take it back by Hall of the Salty Dogs. Pass to the outside on the right wing. It's blocked by O'Neill. Turns it behind. Barnes and Steenkamp bump. And the ball brought away by John Wilson. Out to the midfield line, giving it off to Aguilera. And then he's dumped. And the ball is taken and chipped downfield by the Salty Dogs, but no help there, and the ball out of bounds. Throw in on the near side of the field for the Rhinos from their own 15.
I think Pato is out of gas. Looks like he is spent.
89th minute. Well, he's limping a little bit, it looks like.
Yeah, he just took a shot on the tackle there, but not moving up and down the field. We'll like to see that central midfielder do.
89th minute, even at 1. The throw in to the chest of Miller, and now Kirk Wilson will drive it out into the center circle. Blocked forward. Turned off on the near side. Wone on the left wing. Chips it down to the 18. Devin is there to head it away. Coming back as Trout pops it high in the air. Coming down near the center circle. Wone heads it into the middle for Lowe as he spins around. Aguilera on him, but Lowe sneaks away. Pass on the near side to Wone and to the outside up the left wing for Steele. Trying to draw it forward. Knocked away by Sedgwick. Out of bounds off of Sedgwick. Throw a throw in for the Salty Dogs near side of the field. Under a minute to go on the clock, and then we'll have stoppage time to throw in along the 18, but taken away by Steenkamp. Spins back, still has the ball. Drops it off for right and a feed into the middle for Aguilera. As he's bumped, has control. Knocked away, but it comes out on the near side with the left foot. Sedgwick drives it out through midfield. Blocked forward again by Hall into the center circle. Dogs have it. Drop it out on the near wing. Wone to the outside for Steele. Turns up the left wing, looking to stick the ball through. On the near side, tipped aside, and the Rhinos have it, and Aguilera sticks it forward to the center circle for Woolfolk. Checking back for the ball, drops it off Kirk Wilson. Chips it downfield. Miller trying to get in behind as the ball is then blocked away. On the far wing and brought forward by the Salty Dogs. Turn to the outside on the near wing for Steele at the midfield line into Rhino territory. Off the left wing side, Sedgwick steps in, but Steele escapes. Along the mid side, sliding in to knock the ball away is Wilson, and it's out of bounds and a throw in for the Salty Dogs. We're now in stoppage time. 2 minutes of stoppage time.
Wilson helping out Sedgwick. Good job on the recovery.
To the outside along the near wing. 15 yards out. Steele with a cross in front. Heads a head ball in. Up over top of the crossbar. Barnes was there. The flick on a foot high over the crossbar.
Nice play there. As before the ball got to Barnes, it was flicked on. He tries to redirect it. Could have been some late game heroics for the Syracuse Salty Dogs. Lord Calloway would have been more than enthused with that one. He says that no one has been respecting the Salty Dogs as Minnesota and Rochester, he says, came out with B lineups and showing Syracuse no respect. By the way, 2 wins for Syracuse in those games.
That's played through midfield. Aguilera pops it up in the air, and it's headed down at midfield. Stepping forward, Hall to the outside. He'll pass off in the near wing, and it's tipped by Sedgwick, rolling out on the near side, and right blocking Steele away from the ball. It's out of bounds and a throw in for the Rhinos. Quickly, right to Steenkamp, back to the outside. Sedgwick, but stepping in. Barnes tying up with Wright, who knocks the ball away, and the foul is called on Dave Wright. Now Sedgwick taken down as he and Barnes do some pushing at each other.
Sedgwick's got a yellow. He wants to be careful here.
Barnes pushing at him. Steenkamp in, separating the players as they start pushing at each other. Barnes wanting to go after Billy Sedgwick. All the players coming over. And Wone grabs on to Barnes and separates him. Rivas having a few words with Sedgwick, and now he's yelling at the referee.
This has been escalating every time these two teams play. It's a heated battle, including the coaches. So no surprise to see this spill over onto the field.
Well, the foul is called, and it's a restart, a free kick for Syracuse off the left wing side, about 15 yards out.
Been impressed with the pace of Homer Barnes, the 18-year-old from England. A lot of pace down the flanks, giving the Rhino defenders some trouble.
Wone placing the ball, puts it out, stop, and no, they did it too quickly, so the referee says to Wone, no, you can't do that, and Wone pats him on the shoulder.
This chips away at the clock, gives Syracuse that one final chance.
Still in stoppage time. Wone with the left foot for the back post as Johnson punches it away out of the box. Out with the Woolfolk. Sneaks into the outside. Up the right wing is Miller after the ball. He won't get to it as it rolls out of bounds. Throw in on the near side for the Dogs. Whistle stops play. That's it for regulation. Tonight we are going to overtime. We'll take a 1 minute break here. 1 minute break tonight coming up at Frontier Field. Overtime through regulation. We're even at 1, and this is the Raging Rhinos Radio Network. Tonight at Frontier Field, this one goes to overtime. It's only the second overtime game of the season for the Rhinos. The first was back in the third game of the year, in which the Rhinos and Syracuse ended up in a 1-goal tie at Syracuse. So that's the only other game that the Rhinos have gone to OT this year. Salty Dogs, this will be their sixth overtime. 2 wins and 3 ties in overtime. On the road, 2 wins and a tie. At home, 2 ties. So again, Syracuse unbeaten in overtime with 2 wins and 3 ties in the extra session.
Well, fitness will come into play here. We'll see who's in better shape here as we head into overtime. But for the Rhinos, the link from the midfield to the forwards have not been there. I think Steenkamp and Pata really have to sort out who's going to be the defensive midfielder, who's going to be the attacking midfielder. They've been side by side, which leaves a big gap between the middies and the forwards. And when the forwards do get the ball, they're 2v4, easily marked by the defense.
Rhinos will be shooting in the net to our right here in the overtime session. The Rhinos do have room for one more substitution on the night. Available, Semedo and Polarski. And the Salty Dogs have made only 3 subs thus far, so they still have Mack, Lara, and Suarez available for substitution.
Yeah, I tell you, Polarski's been a great player off the bench, playing on the flank. A lot of speed, a lot of intensity. He could be just the spark that Rochester needs here in overtime.
Well, he's not warming up at present, though.
Did a great job in New England coming off the bench at the half. Really turning things around.
All right. It'll be Soren Johnson in goal down to our left, and Myron Foss in the net to our right as we get set for overtime. Johnson is doing a little work on his cleats still over at the players' bench. I think he changed his shoes, actually came running, sprinting over to the bench at the end of regulation and looking for different shoes.
May have had a molded shoe on and changing over to the screw-in, which has got a longer stud, better grip in these wet conditions.
I wonder if he was waiting until the flip of the coin to find out if he was going to be on the grass or in the dirt.
That, and also gives guys a chance to rest.
All right, so Johnson trying to get the gloves on now as he's got the shoe wear on. Ref blowing the whistle saying, get out of here.
And Fuller trying to talk to the fourth official and slow things down. Great gamesmanship.
All right, so Johnson heads down to the net to our left as we go to overtime. Even at 1 apiece, each team scoring 1 and a penalty kick. The Rhinos in the 37th minute and the Salty Dogs in the 48th minute. All right, looks like maybe the rain has stopped as we're underway, and the Rhinos take the opening kickoff. Off the left wing side, John Wilson sends it through midfield. That's headed in the air by Sanfilippo out to midfield and touched away by Miller, checking back at midfield. Ball blocked away and controlled by the Salty Dogs. Ahead of the middle, Lowe chips it out on the near side, running underneath it, Steele up the left wing. On the attack, chased by Kirk Wilson along the near side, now watched by Sedgwick. As he looks for the cross along the 18 in front, knocked down, spin around, that shot blocked away by Devon, rolls off to the far end of the box, and Johnson will chase it down.
Sanfilippo's drop back to central defense alongside of Rivas. Started off playing in the center midfield where Callaway likes his energy. And Sanfilippo, a solid player, as I said, called a pit bull by Laurie Callaway. Played for Callaway also with Des Moines of the PDL.
First overtime session. Johnson hammers it through midfield, but the ball blocked away and brought upfield by the Salty Dogs. Lowe spins around, turns it to the outside, sliding in to knock it away. John Wilson has deflected along midfield. Steenkamp up the left wing side for Trout. On the attack, far into the box, being chased by Lowe. Spins, slides, goes down, gets back up. Still battling for the ball, taken down again, and play goes on. Stepping up, Devon knocks it away. Ahead on the attack, Steenkamp looking for the through ball. Inside, no, it's outside against Trout.
I don't think so. I thought he was even with that last defender. Post from up here.
Offside against the Rhinos.
But they're stepping up with the pressure now, stepping immediately on the Syracuse players with the ball, winning it. You're seeing Wilson do a great job of applying pressure. Rochester able to counterattack, and Trout's got the fresh legs to push forward.
Foss taking his time. Now he was told to go back up and on that, so now he takes it outside the dirt area onto the grass, and with the right foot drives it out through midfield. Flick on attempt as it comes out of the near wing. Wilson underneath it, but that's blocked away. Steele on the near side, roller in front, across the goal mouth on the other side to the end line, and it's back in front, but Wilson's there, chips it off at the far wing, and Trout underneath the ball, and the Rhinos have the ball. Trout turns it away up the left wing side. Now as he approaches midfield, looking for the through ball, but is blocked aside by Rivas, and a pass through the center circle. On the near wing again, up the left wing is Steele. As it's taken away by Wilson. Kirk Wilson for the Rhinos up the right side, back in the middle. Aguilera on the attack. Across midfield, looks around, chips it forward. Hollett sneaks through and off the foot of Miller. Down inside the 18 where it's grabbed by the keeper. Foss picks the rolling ball up.
So that connection in the final third just not there between the middies and the forwards. Pato Miller not on the same page.
Foss takes his time, rolls it along his 18. Miller will apply some pressure. Foss finally picks the ball up. Dribbles it a couple of times, looks downfield, sets the ball down again, and with the right foot, low line drive kick all the way down to the Rhinos 30 headed up in the air. Demon underneath it. Now Wright knocks it down, and he'll then volley it out to midfield. That's settled in the middle. Through the center circle. Slipped high in the air over the near wing for Steele. Off the chest, trying to settle at the feet, and does. Turns along the near wing, being watched by Wilson. Ball deflected away. Steenkamp moving in. Steele goes flying, and the foul is called on the Rhinos.
That's a bad call. Steenkamp just came in hard. He's saying no, and I agree with him there. Now gives Syracuse a restart in a very dangerous position. I thought it was a good, hard, clean challenge from Lennon Steenkamp.
Ron Wone is there, as you said, Joe. Every call, he's right in the face of the referee.
He's the referee's assistant.
Steele is down on his back, taking his time, and
I think Steele was the one who actually jumped in the air.
Well, he was.
And then bumped into Steenkamp to make it look much worse than it was.
He went up in the air, and then he came down on top of Steenkamp and rolled off onto the grass.
Lennon coming in clearly hard for the ball. Nothing intentional there, so it's a unique call by the official.
And each player's demonstrating to the referee what happened. Steenkamp jumping in the air and saying, look, if that's what he did, he jumped in the air and came down on top of me.
But in the end, Syracuse with a dangerous restart.
Yeah, 20 yards out off the left wing side. Wone and O'Neal are both there. O'Neal takes the shot, blocked away at the 18, up in the air, knocked away out of the box, and Miller rolls it off on the right wing side. Turning back for it. Laid along the near wing by Hall as O'Neal ties up with Trout, and that's off of Steele and out, so a throw in on the near side for the Rhinos.
Trout with some long travels from the far side. Was in the wall, so now he's trekking back to his left side of midfield.
Wilson with the throw in. Steenkamp sends it through the center circle off on the left wing side, and John Wilson on the attack for the Rhinos. Down to the 35, turns back, working toward the middle, still has the ball. Wilson needs a throw in front. Steenkamp 30 yards out of the middle. Sneaks it up the right side. Here into the box. Chased down by Wolf. A back heel. Kirk Wilson moving in. Can't get a shot away. Steenkamp. Good shot from 18. That's blocked away on top. Aguilera rolls it ahead, but then right to Lysan and played out the far wing. Stepping up to intercept once again is Wright. For the Rhinos. Up the left wing side. Down to the 20. Turns toward the middle. Wright still with the ball. Sneaks it through in the middle for Steenkamp. Turns to his right. Pass over the near side. As Kirk Wilson knocks it down. Near into the 18. Chips it along in front to the end line. Return pass. And Wilson won't get there. Give and go. Steenkamp trying to get it back to Wilson, but too much pace on the ball.
Nice bit of play there from the Rhinos. David Wright, I tell you, does not get enough credit with the ball.
Everywhere tonight.
It was a great job taking on players, dishing it off, and then Steenkamp playing it forward to Kirk Wilson, just a smidge too far. But earlier, Lennon hit a shot from about 25 yards out. If anyone's got a cannon, it's Steenkamp. Got to let loose with that.
First overtime session, still even at 1 between the Rhinos and the Salty Dogs. Downfield in, half volley kick across midfield. Woolfolk run up the back, but no call. Ball played out on the near side and out of bounds. Throw in for the Rhinos at midfield. Cedric will take the throw in. Long up the right wing side. That's headed away and out of bounds again by Hall. Another throw in on the near side for the Rhinos, this time from 35.
Okay, Rochester gains some yardage here.
There's Wilson picked away and carried off by Wone across midfield on the left wing. Pass in the middle, tip loose, stepping up. Demon knocks it away. The Rhinos have it back. Demon into the center circle. Throws it off to his right. Steenkamp pass forward. Kirk Wilson to the outside. Steenkamp running onto the ball. Off the near wing, turns back, spins around, has the ball, lost it, gets it back. Wilson still has it along the make that Steenkamp still has it. Pass and comes up with the ball again to the outside for Kirk Wilson. Return pass to Steenkamp to the outside for Wilson. A give and go. Back in the middle for Steenkamp. Off the chest. Volleys it in the air. Now it's out top. After it, Aguilera. Off on the right side. The near end of the box for Kirk Wilson. At the right wing. Turns it back in the middle. Tied up. And Steenkamp goes down. And the ball brought away. Kicked out across midfield. On the near side after Wright and Barnes on him. Wright spinning with the ball. He'll play it out to near midfield. Cedric up the near wing. Turns, spins with the ball. Trying to get away from Barnes. Grabbed onto. Ball to the near wing and finally the foul is called. Wow, great action.
For a while there was the Steenkamp Kirk Wilson show. Short passes in a tight little space there as they continue to go forward.
Cedric sets it up. Crosses through the left wing side. John Wilson turns it back in the middle. Takes a left-footed kick, but that's out over the end line wide of the net. Goal kick for the Salty Dogs. 98th minute. We're in the overtime, and even at 1.
That was set up perfect for their right-footed shot, but Wilson obviously favoring the left. Gets away a weak poke at the net.
Voss will place the ball. Needless to say, both teams going for the win here tonight. Both pushing up and trying to do everything they can.
At this stage of the season, you've got to get the 3 points.
Steele, but blocked away by Kirk Wilson. Drops it off. Cedric right foots it down into the stands. Barnes and Sedgwick do some more pushing at each other, and the ball is out of play, and it'll be a throw-in on the near side for the Salty Dogs.
Billy wants to
or was
careful.
It a foul? No, it's a throw-in.
Yeah, out of bounds off of Billy, apparently. Sedgwick doesn't need this nonsense here.
He and Barnes still pushing at each other.
Barnes trying to encourage Billy into a second yellow.
All right, throw-in on the near side. It'll be taken by Hall. Goes short of the throw-in. Knocked down by Kirk Wilson, but Wone has it. Back heel, but Wright steps in, and he'll drop it back for Sedgwick. With the right foot, drives it out through midfield. Miller underneath it, but that's headed away into the center circle. Aguilera is there. Tips it to the outside. Trout checking back for the ball. Knocks it down, and John Wilson has to turn back. He'll come up with the ball. Spins to try and get away from O'Neill. On the far wing, and helping out is Trout, but that's picked off and carried off by the Dogs. Out into the center circle area for Wone. Crossing to the outside along the near wing for Hall. Kirk Wilson on him. Blocks the ball away, but it skips out of bounds. Throw in on the near side for the Dogs from their own 40. There's under a minute to go in the first overtime. There's the throw in across midfield. And out of bounds again. Another throw in on the near side for the Dogs, this time from the Rhinos 40.
David Wright again there to step in, break up the play. He's been a solid defender with Demon in the middle.
Throw in from Hall. Off the left wing, going deep to the corner. It's headed away by Sedgwick in the near wing for Kirk Wilson. Volleys it in the air, but that blocked away and out of bounds by Wone. So a throw-in on the near side for the Rhinos from their own 35. Sedgwick with the throw-in. Across midfield. Woolfolk backling for the flick on, but knocked away. Rivas sends it out to midfield, and it's out of bounds. Throw-in at the midfield line for the Rhinos. Sedgwick off the left wing, takes a look around. Long up the right wing side. Woolfolk there, but he gets tied up, and the ball skips down inside the 18, and Foss is out to grab it.
He's tied up. He's got three defenders around him again. When the ball gets up there, it's 1v3. Easy defending for the Salty Dogs.
Clock is stopped. Now, why is there maybe stoppage time here? There's no stops. Ball skips out of bounds to the far side. Throw in for the Rhinos. There's the whistle to end the first overtime session. So we'll take another 1 minute timeout, a 1 minute break, as we've completed now 100 minutes, and it's still even at 1 here at Frontier Field. And this is the Raging Rhinos Radio Network. We are underway in our second overtime session as the ball into the center circle, and the foul is called on the Rhinos. Rochester now shooting a that to our left, and Soren Johnson in goal to our right. They're a half a minute into the second session, even at 1. Rhinos scored on the PK in the 37th minute, and the Salty Dogs answered on a PK in the 48th minute.
See if Miller or Woolfolk get some kind of quality service up top.
Long downfield, and that one flighted through and out over the end line. So a goal kick. That one put all the way out over the end line by the keeper, Potts, who's got the long, booming goal kicks.
Looks like Pato now pushing up again, a little withdrawn behind Woolfolk, and Miller's team camp also pushing up, so we'll see how this sorts out.
Johnson with the right foot. Drives it out through midfield. And right to O'Neill. Settles it off the chest, pushing it to his feet. Then lost control as Trout comes back to take it away. Aguilera will switch it to the right side. Moving up is Sedgwick in the center circle. Sneaks a pass off to Steenkamp. Knocks it down. In a collision, the ball is taken away by the Dogs. On midfield, O'Neill on the near side. Being watched by Trout. He'll drop it back. Lyson skipping up the right side. Tugged down by Woolfolk, who got away with that one. Off the near side, low, looking for the through ball. Turning in the middle. Van Dyne, and it's knocked away on top. Wone heads it aside off on the near wing for O'Neill. Rolls it into the middle for Wone. Takes a look ahead with the left foot down to the 18, but headed away by Wright. Into the middle and pushed forward by Aguilera. Knocked away, and Aguilera now will volley it out through midfield. After it goes Doug Miller up the right side. Woolfolk on the attack. Rolling ball inside the 18, and out sliding into the ball is Foss, who has it. Woolfolk was on his horse, but couldn't quite get there before Foss.
He was, and Miller finally got a ball that he likes to run onto. Quick one touch from Pato. Tough angle, but tried to serve it back inside to Corey Woolfolk.
High, floating ball downfield, coming all the way down to the 35, and Demon heads it forward, out to the far wing, and brought away by Kirk Wilson. Cross midfield, chased from behind, sneaks it to the outside. Off the right wing is Miller. Down to the 20, turns along the end bar. Back heel, Wilson to Miller, trying to skip through, taken down! He's taken down, the card is issued!
Yeah, card is issued for the dive.
A dive?
Yeah, he called him for the dive.
Are you kidding? Doug Miller gets a yellow card. Man,
I thought there was contact on the far side of the field, but I thought there may have been contact inside the box. The referee didn't hesitate, immediately calling it out for Syracuse and giving Doug Miller the yellow card for taking the tumble inside the 18. did a great job to cut inside of the defenders, just muscling through them. And from the replay, it looks like he was just touched from behind.
Wow. 103rd minute as the ball now flighted out through midfield into Rhino territory. Right is back, heads it up in the air toward the center circle. Steenkamp nods it off and brought away by Aguilera. In the center circle, draws it forward, long up the left wing side. Lyson, let's get through to Trout. Inside the 18, stops the ball. Couldn't get the shot or the cross away, and Lyson carries it off. On the near wing, out through midfield, long ball, flighted on the right wing side, but out of bounds. Throw in midfield on the near side for the Rhinos.
Trout just couldn't get it to sit down so he could serve it or strike it on goal.
As Steenkamp ties it with Lyson, and the ball knocked away and a foul on Steenkamp. So a free kick for the Salty Dogs, their own side of midfield.
A good bit of action here in the second overtime from the Rhinos.
As the ball is into the center circle, even at 1 in the 105th minute. Second overtime session, up the left wing side. The Dogs on the attack. Knocked away by Sedgwick, steals it away. But on the other side, Lowe, well, he lost it out of bounds, so a throw in for the Rhinos. Lowe kicks the ball away from Sedgwick, and Sedgwick gives him a shove. Here they come on the attack into the center circle for Aguilera. Switching to the outside on the near wing, John Wilson up the left wing to midfield and across midfield for Trout. As he turns, being double teamed, drops it long. He's pushed off the ball and it's out of bounds. Throw in on the near side for the Dogs. Quickly, Lysan into the center circle for Lowe. He'll send it off on the far wing. High chip down inside the 18 and grabbed on the fly by the Rhino keeper, Soren Johnson. Halfway through the second overtime as Johnson sends a high floater downfield. That's headed up in the air, coming down to the 35 out on the near side. Trout in underneath it. In a collision, bumped off the ball, knocked away by Wone, and then volley kick by Sanfilippo through midfield. John Wilson heads it away to the midfield line. It's settled by O'Neill, knocked away, and the Rhinos recover. Steenkamp in the center circle, chips it up the left wing side, running onto the ball goes Miller near the end line, and Rivas is on his heels. Rene Rivas pushing Miller, knocked the ball out of bounds. Throw in on the near side for the Rhinos. Miller along the 18, throwing in to Wilson. Turning, right foot, rolling ball. He just missed the right post. Oh, cracks it in, but wide right, skips off just wide of the right post.
It's a good strike by Kirk Wilson. Foss, a very tall keeper. He strikes it hard and low, just wide, as Wilson's had a bit of a struggle here in the second half. That goal would have redeemed everything for Kirk Wilson.
106th minute. And it is still even at 1. Low kick out to midfield, and nobody will get to it. That skips out of bounds. Booted away into the stands by the Dogs. Throw in at midfield for the Rhinos. Be taken by Sedgwick. Well, I don't know if you're going to get much better opportunity than that one right there.
Top of the 18, clean look. He struck it well, just a bit wide.
Off on the near side, John Wilson up the left wing for Trout. Sneaks it through to the open left wing corner. Nobody around for the Rhinos. As the ball rolls to the end line, up with it is Lyson to drive it out to midfield. John Wilson heads it in the air. That's flicked on ahead and nodded into the middle by Vende. It's O'Neill turning in the middle, trying to get away to the outside on left wing. And Sedgwick moving over and knocked down in front, but coming back to take it away is Aguilera, and the Rhinos dodge the bullet there. Head for Kirk Wilson, sneaks it into the center circle for Steenkamp. Cross midfield, almost got the ball through, gets up and takes it again. Turns in the middle, back heel up the right side. Out ahead, Kirk Wilson rolls it in front. Moving it Miller, he's tripped down. The ball rolls away off of the defender and out over the end line, and a corner kick for the Rhinos.
Great end-to-end stuff. Rochester coming down with the counterattack. Steenkamp, nifty little back heel pass. Then Wilson tries to get the ball behind the defense to Doug Miller. Hassan recovers, but good opportunity here for Rochester now.
Aguilera serves it up into the bottom. His 18, high volley floater through midfield. That's headed away by Rivas into the center circle for Lowe as he settles it down for Wone and pass through midfield to Steele. Pass off and skipping down inside the 18 was grabbed by Johnson. Throws it off on the near side for Trout. Off his chest to midfield. John rolls it ahead to Wolfhook. Turning back to midfield for Steenkamp in the center circle. Rolls it off to his right along the midfield line for Kirk Wilson on the attack. Drives it forward. Wilson looking for the through ball, but nobody there. And the ball played out on the near wing. Brought away by O'Neill. Just over 2 minutes to go in overtime. Even at 1. Through ball ahead. Turned by Wone inside the 18. Moving out Johnson on the attack, but the offside flag is in the air as Barnes was in behind.
It was a late offsides call there as Barnes didn't hear the whistle. The flag finally went up. Luckily for the Rhinos.
Sent forward, but headed back across midfield. Steenkamp in underneath it for the Rhinos. Turns it up the left wing side. Pass, but blocked away. Take it right back by the Salty Dogs. Vende in the center circle. Net's thrown away by Wilson. The Rhinos have it. As forward, Miller drops it off at the midfield line. Aguilera rolls it out to the right wing side for Sedgwick. Up the open right side to Steenkamp. 35 yards out. Draws it to the far end of the box. As Wilson back heel, but Steenkamp hadn't started his run, and that's carried off and away by the Salty Dogs.
And it's in the final third. Those last few passes just off the mark here for the Rhinos.
Aguilera tied up one-on-one, but sneaks away, turns it into Syracuse territory, looking for the through ball, but blocked away by Rivas. On the far side, knocked away, and the throw-in for the Rhinos, 20 yards out on the far side. Throw in short to Wilson, one touch to the outside for Sedgwick. Under a minute to go in overtime. Down inside, that one headed away and out of the box. Stepping in Aguilera, blocking it. Gets up in the air, and then the ball volleyed out through midfield. Gammon knocks it away. Rhinos have the ball at the midfield line. Stepping up, John Wilson chips it off on the right side. Headed away out of the box by Hall. Underneath it, Steele with Sedgwick, and Steele will pop it up in the air. Comes out with the ball on the other side, brings it away. Out through midfield, long up the left wing. Stepping in right to knock it aside. Bought out of bounds, and a throw in on the far side for the Dogs. Left wing side. Waiting to get
they're going to take their time.
Ball.
They don't want the ball. They'll take the draw at this point.
And they don't want the Rhinos to have any more rushes downfield. I don't think.
There's been some good pressure late in the match.
15 seconds showing on the clock now. If they go by the clock in the 10-minute overtime. That's downfield, headed in the air by Wright. Underneath it, Aguilera. And the ball popped up in the air, coming down to the far end of the box. After it goes Sedgwick. Turns it to the outside. Barnes on him. To the corner. Put away off the foot of Barnes it out. So the throw-in is the clock now stopped at 10. So the whistle should blow any second now. As we've gone 10 minutes in overtime, here's the throw-in. And that went floating through in the middle. And a pass ahead, knocked away by Wilson. Volleys it in the air out to near midfield. And there's the whistle, and this one ends up all even up tonight. Hard-fought battle between the two teams, and it all comes out even up in the end. Final score tonight at Frontier Field. Rochester Raging Rhinos 1, Syracuse Salty Dogs 1. And this is the Raging Rhinos Radio Network. Tonight at Frontier Field, the fireworks going off overhead as the Rhinos and the Salty Dogs end up all even up at one apiece. Plenty of fireworks after the game, plenty of fireworks during the game tonight. Very exciting game up and down. A lot of action all night long, Joe.
Yeah, it was. You want to see Rochester get a goal, though, in the run of play that boosts the confidence and the flow of the team here, but there were some chances there overall, but again, there's still some finishing problems here. The final third, the connections from the midfield to the forwards, still a little off the mark for Rochester.
Well, as we were talking about earlier, so many changes being made with the injury, suspensions, and so on. At this point, you haven't had a solidified lineup at this point.
That's part of it, but there's too much of a gap between the midfield and the forwards. Pato and Steenkamp, I can't tell how many times we're side by side tonight in the central midfield. One of those guys has to decide to go up, sit a little bit behind those two forwards, give them another option up front. Otherwise, they're 2v4, 2v5, and those forwards will get killed all night.
Well, in the season now, the Rhinos in 23 games played have a record of 13 wins, 8 losses, and 2 ties. And with 1 point, now we have 41 to remain in third place in the Eastern Conference and fourth place overall in the league. Syracuse inching a little bit closer to Atlanta. Now in 22 games played, a record of 11 wins, 7 losses, and 4 ties, and 37 points. At this point, 1 point behind Atlanta, and still 4 behind the Rhinos. And only 1 point out of a playoff spot at the moment for the Salty Dogs. I'm not sure what Atlanta was doing as they were playing tonight, but anyway, Atlanta has an opportunity tonight of catching up to the Rhinos for third. Should Atlanta be playing and come away with a victory in their game? Joe's looking it up to see if they're playing or not. The season series between these two teams ends up all even. Each team with a win, and there were 2 ties. So Rochester with a 1-1-2 record against the Salty Dogs this season. Atlanta was at home against Virginia Beach tonight, so Atlanta does have the opportunity of catching up to the Rhinos. Virginia Beach have an opportunity to play the spoiler role here tonight. All right, as far as the Chase Pitkin play of the game is concerned tonight, what do you think?
Oh, jeez. I don't know. That's a tough one. I guess You know what? Let's give it to Kirk Wilson when he served the ball into the box, went off the hand of the Syracuse defender, took a chance, made something happen. Rochester got a PK out of it. I guess you go with that one.
Sounds good to me. Chase Pitkin with a lifetime 2 awardee for all tools purchased at Chase Pitkin. Best Rhino of the game.
David Wright.
I think so, too.
Defensively, in the air, on the ground, met every single challenge, and he continues to impress me game after game. David Wright was my best Rhino of the game.
I'll tell you what, he is playing hurt. He is playing injured, and he is doing a heck of a job.
Solid player. Came over from Pittsburgh, and we didn't look for him to start this year. We thought Mendez was going to be that guy taking over for Scott Schweitzer, but as soon as Mendez went down, Wright has made the most of his opportunity, and there's no second guessing. He stays there the rest of the way.
Has played a very strong game tonight. Best Rhino of the game brought to you by Rochester's exclusive Volvo dealer at 1500 University Avenue. Well, the Rhinos, Joe, trying to get back on the winning side, and as you mentioned, needing some things to happen to gain some more confidence back. But a tie, I don't know if that'll be a confidence builder or not tonight.
I don't think so. You're almost a tie. You're still in the same spot where you were. It gets you a point, but Syracuse still only 4 points behind. And there's other issues. They're not scoring in the run of play during the flow of the game. You're not going to get PKs every game to put you on the scoreboard, and they've got to work on that connection between the midfielders and the forwards. It's just not there just yet.
All right, so the Rhinos will take on the Charleston Battery here on Sunday night, and you know what? They got to be the best last-place team that I've ever seen in a league.
We talked about this Wednesday. As a championship team, you have a lot of luck. Sometimes you don't have a lot of luck. In the A-League, they don't have a lot of luck. They're very unlucky. But in that Open Cup, they're a lucky team. They're a good team. And, Rochester, they should have no problem getting fired up to pay back the Charleston Battery on Sunday. If they do, there's serious issues.
I don't think it's a question of being fired up. I think the team's been fired up and ready to go. Night after night, it just isn't working yet.
They were a bit flat tonight. Again, especially defensively, they're fine. I like what them and Ray are doing, but up front, they're just not connecting.
Well, that's not a question of being fired up. That's a question of it's a question of players moving off the ball, playing with some excitement. We don't see that. We don't see a lot of that. What's this wee stuff?
I don't see a lot of that. Is that better? Allnut, he's a creative player. He runs around a lot, makes things happen at times, but I think the forwards are getting a little dejected because the service isn't there from the midfield, and that's what leads to kind of a flat feeling, a very laid-back feeling out there.
Which goes back to what you were talking about, needing that something or other to boost the morale.
Yeah, and hopefully the Charleston game will do it against what happened Wednesday. So payback.
We'll see
feeding
Sunday.
Off of something. They've got to feed off of something and get hungry again because the playoffs, if we even make it, are not that far away.
That's right. All right, Joe, thanks. See you
Sunday night.
Joe Giuliano, and I'm Don Stevens. Be back with the post-game show coming up next from Frontier Field as we continue along our network. The final score tonight in overtime. The Rhinos won, the Syracuse Salty Dogs won, and this is the Raging Rhinos Radio Network. Frontier Field tonight, the 23rd match of the season for the Rhinos as they take on the Syracuse Salty Dogs, the 4th and final meeting this year between the two teams. And welcome back to the post-game show as we'll take a quick check of what happened in this game tonight. First goal of the night coming in the 37th minute, awarded on a penalty kick, a handball inside the penalty area, and the Rhinos with the penalty kick is taken by Pato Aguilera as he scores his 4th of the season, and the Rhinos take a 1-0 lead. Aguilera scoring on the PK in the 37th minute. So the Rhinos had a 1-0 lead, which held up through the second half, or into the second half rather, and it was turned about the other way, as this time the Salty Dogs awarded a PK off a handball in the penalty area by the Rhinos. So the Salty Dogs able to take advantage of it as former Rhino Rene Rivas scores on the PK, and in the 48th minute to even the match up at 1 apiece. And that was the end of the scoring on the night. No more scoring in the second half, and of course either overtime, and so that's the way it ends up on the night. All even up at 1 apiece, the final score here tonight. The shots I had unofficially in this game even at 9 apiece. Shots even at 9, again unofficially. Corner kicks 8 for the Rhinos and 3 for the Dogs. And offsides 1 against Rochester and 3 against Syracuse. In goal for the Rhinos, Soren Johnson tonight gave up 1 goal, and with a tie now is a 3-2-1 record. At the other end, Foss gives up 1 goal, and He picks up the tie, and his record now at 7-5-1. By the way, that does bring the winning string to an end for Syracuse. They had a 7-game winning string, but the tie tonight brings that to an end. However, they've gone unbeaten in their last 8 now with 7 wins and a tie. Don't forget, the Rhinos are here on Sunday against the Charleston Battery. That's a 6:05 kickoff time. Rex's birthday. And come on out, celebrate with Rex and more of his 20 of his friends. And the first 8,000 receive a Rhinos bumper sticker, courtesy of Label World. And you can call 454-KICK and order 4 tickets for $44 to the game on Sunday night. Now, don't forget Rex's birthday party on Sunday night here at Frontier Field. Speaking of birthdays, happy birthday to Soccer Sam, as he hit his somewhere around his 75th or 78th birthday tonight here at Frontier Field. So happy birthday to Soccer Sam. All right, coming up next, Andrew will be bringing along scores. A lot of games from elsewhere in the league tonight, and then he and Sam will be taking your phone calls as we continue shortly. Final score tonight, Frontier Field. Syracuse and the Rhinos end up in a 1-goal tie. For Joe Giuliano, I'm Don Stevens, and this is the Raging Rhinos Radio Network.
Andrew Battisti back here at Frontier Soccer Stadium. Free-Time Magazine out-of-town scoreboard time. Free-Time Magazine available twice a month. Rochester's, New York's premier arts and entertainment guide. Freetime.com. You can go there anytime you'd like to check it out. The information 24/7. Big matches tonight in the Eastern Conference. Starting down in Charleston, the Charleston Battery took on the Richmond Kickers tonight at Blackbaud Stadium, and the Battery just doesn't want to help us this season. The Battery led 1-0 at the half, but Richmond came back to tie and won the game in extra time. 2-1, so Kickers move further ahead of the Rhinos in the Eastern Conference. Down in Atlanta, a wild one between the Silverbacks and Virginia Beach. Match was tied 3-3 at halftime. Virginia Beach got the only goal of the second half, and they win it 4-3 over the Silverbacks. That helps out the Mariners a little bit in their playoff hopes. In Montreal, the Vancouver Whitecaps, the top team in the West, playing Montreal, top team in the East. That match is scoreless late in the contest. We'll try to get you a final before we go off the air. And in Milwaukee, the Wave United lead Calgary 3-2 in the 62nd minute. That's it for the Free-Time Magazine Out-of-Town Scoreboard. We'll be joined next by Soccer Sam and Lindsay Andrazik for Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. Give us a call, 346-3000, 1-866-552-1009, here on the Rhinos Radio Network. And good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Rochester Raging Rhino Soccer. This is Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct, coming tonight undercover here at Frontier with the wet weather we had this evening. The Rhinos and Syracuse played to a 1-1 tie tonight. Rene Rivas with the goal for Syracuse and Pato Aguilera with the goal for the Rhinos, both on penalty kicks. And Sam with us, Soccer Sam, the birthday boy, both on pretty much exactly the same plays, same balls.
And I'll tell you, if it wasn't for the 2 PKs, Doug Miller was just taken down in the box like you wouldn't believe. We saw the replay. He was tripped late. Doug went crazy after the game on the referee, went crazy on the linesman. I mean, it was just unfortunate. But, Andrew, here's the deal tonight. We got about 45 minutes in the show tonight. Let's get as many calls as we can, 1 minute per caller. Let's rock and roll.
Well, Sam, Doug was taken down. The referee didn't think that way. He said it was a yellow card. He thought Doug took a dive. So what are you going to do? Lindsay Andrazik is here as well. Let's go to our first caller here on Behind the Net. It's Mike. Mike, you're up. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. I'm going to make it really quick. Couple things. It was an exciting game to see, whether you're a Salty Dog fan or a Rhinos fan. I think the guys played great. Getting real sick and tired of the immaturity of the Stampede behind there. Erkley, what's he going to do? He's not the one out there playing on the field. He's doing really good subbing. I have no problem with that. Playing in the RDSL, I see some really poor reffing, but there's absolutely no excuse. The games we've seen lately, with the linesmen in that, the calls are just absolutely ridiculous. If they can't get them right. Wednesday's game, we had 3 handballs in the box, not a single call. Tonight, the referee starts calling, or doesn't call anything first half, then he calls piddly things in the second half. Just sick and tired of the refereeing in this league. I mean, it's just no excuse for it.
Well, Mike, if your eyesight ever fails you, you can become a referee, buddy. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
All right, buddy.
Thanks, Mike.
Lindsay, your thoughts?
Yeah, overall, it was a pretty evenly matched game, obviously. Had a new goalie in there tonight, Soren Johnson, playing well. We were unlucky. We had our chances up top, and, just didn't capitalize on a few of them, and unfortunately that happens, and it ends in a 1-1 tie.
Chuck, you're up next on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. Go ahead.
Hi, how are you guys doing tonight?
Good, Chuck.
I was pretty disappointed with everything that went on the field. I thought that the refereeing just as bad as I've seen it ever in years. And Syracuse is it's just a blatantly dirty team. No other way to put it. There's one point to be aggressive, but they're a bunch of hacks. They really are. I'm really disappointed even with Tommy Tanner being up there, but. Aside from that, as far as this thing with the Stampede, I'm very disappointed that they went down over and made him take the sign down. I think the guys have free speech. Yeah, they get carried away occasionally, but I think they were just voicing their opinion and the opinion of an awful lot of very knowledgeable people in the stands. So I think that if they want to hang the sign up, they should let it stand and, shoot bits wear it.
I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm sorry.
The sign that said sub out Urkeley. They had the sign up, and every time they put it up, one of the guys from the team went down and made him take it down. And they put it up a couple of times. He kept taking it down. They had security down there. It wasn't offensive. It wasn't nasty. It just said sub out Urkeley. That's all it said. And again, they were voicing an opinion of an awful lot of people. So we need inspiration. We need motivation. We need game plan. And I'll tell you, all three of those things seem to be missing in this team right now. And it's coming down to playoffs. I'm afraid we're not even going to be at the playoffs at this point.
Chuck, the only thing I say, buddy, we're not here to disagree with our callers. I can't blame Pat Erkley for guys just not shooting when they're right in front of the net and for the ball just going wide constantly and going high constantly. I mean, there was chances tonight where, from where I was sitting, it's like, dude, just shoot the ball, and guys are just going for that one more pass, that one more guy to burn, and is that the coach, man? That's not the coach, dude. But it starts there. It starts there. Again, it seems like we have lack of game plan, and I don't know. There just seems to be something missing in this team. And every time one of these guys moves on to another team, all of a sudden they're scoring, they're great, they're wonderful. How many times are we going to get burned by these guys that leave us and go somewhere else? And somebody's got to realize, what is the problem? The problem is not the players necessarily. It's deeper than that, and something's got to be done. All right, Chuck, your minute's up, buddy. Thanks for your call.
Thanks for your call.
Hey, I got to say one thing. All the people out there that stood out there in the rain, pouring rain, 10,000 people, umbrellas, raincoats, thank you so much. You guys are true fans.
Yes, they are.
Appreciate it. They definitely appreciate it.
Over 10,000 fans tonight here at Frontier. Let's take a break here on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. We come back, we want to hear from you. 346-3000, 1-866-552-1009 here on the Rhinos Radio Network. Back here on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. Rhinos and Syracuse play to a 1-1 tie tonight here at Frontier. Our next caller on the line is Jim. Go ahead, Jim.
Jim, you got 1 minute, buddy.
Your thoughts on the game?
Must be gone. We lost Jim.
Well, I got a lot of thoughts on the game. Basically, I thought we controlled most of the game. I must not be seeing everything. Andrew, I thought we controlled the whole game. We controlled, and a couple of times Syracuse comes down, they cross it in the box, and they get a header. It's like, oh, man, what's going on with the marking in the box? But I thought we controlled.
Thought it was pretty evenly matched. I have to disagree a little bit. It was solid on both ends, and it was equal time. I don't think one team, overplayed the other team. It was definitely equal all the way around.
Yeah, there was definitely a deserved result. A 1-1 tie was a very fair result tonight. Let's see what Nicole thinks. Nicole, you're up on Behind the Net. Go ahead.
Well, I think it was a little bit disappointing. There's definitely players that I'm usually complimenting that I don't think they're having such great games tonight. I think a lot of the players are having trouble controlling the ball with their feet, and there's definitely, too many balls in the air. We have a short team. We got to keep it on the ground, and that was definitely something. And even, people were holding on for way too long, and, we were right in front of the goal, and they wouldn't even let go, and it's
Well, one of the keys I said at the beginning of the show, of the pregame show, Nicole, was how would the referee call a tight game or allow them to play? If they allow them to play, Syracuse that's their game. They're a very physical team, so.
They always have been, yep.
So that's what happened. Thanks, Nicole.
Yep.
346-3000, 1-866-552-1009. Do we have tickets to give away for Rex's birthday? It was your birthday today, so we got Rex's birthday on Sunday.
And that mascot game is going to look crazy.
That's my wife's favorite game.
I don't know if we have time to give away trivia tonight. I think we got the lines lit up. Let's go to Bill and see what he thinks.
Sam, it's your birthday. What's wrong with you?
Bill, what do you got, buddy?
Go ahead, Bill. We lost Bill. Lost Bill.
Oh, boy.
346-3000. See,
Stay on
people
the
are hanging
line,
up.
folks. Stay on the line so we can chat.
They want trivia, Sam. Here we go. We're going to do trivia. 4 tickets for Rhinos in Charleston on Sunday. Rex's birthday.
Oh, I can't wait for Rex's birthday.
It's hilarious. 346-3000, 1-866-552-1009. David Wright has started every game for the Rhinos this year.
Yes.
He's trying to tie the record. There's 4 Rhino players who have started every match in a season for the Rhinos. Name one of those 4 players, you get 4 tickets.
So,
See the Rhinos in
so 4
Charleston.
people can win tonight.
That's right.
Come on, guys.
Let's
Call
see,
it in.
let's see what John thinks. John, what do you,
True Rhino fans better get this right.
John, what do you got?
Hey, guys. Another disappointing evening. However, it was exciting. It's not exciting in the sense that it's been, 6 games we have terrible results. I couldn't agree more with our last caller, or I should say 2 callers ago. I think we need to make a change. I don't think it's in the field. I think it's planning. I think it's, I don't think it's execution. I don't think it's our players. I think it's at the top. And basically, when I say it very plain and simple, coaching. And I think we need to make a change.
Okay, John.
All right, John, your minute's up, buddy. Thank you for your call. It's your show, fans. Give us a call. Tell us what you think. I thought it was an exciting game. I think we are having a problem hitting the net, taking the shots. But, you know, I don't know what to do.
But yeah, Sam, we are having a problem getting it in, and it's coming in crunch time here with playoffs coming up. So we need to find a way to get it in the back of that net.
That's right. Brian, you're up on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. Go ahead, Brian.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Good, Brian. How you doing?
Pretty good. You know what? I had to agree with some of the first callers on this broadcast. And for them, I agree with callers. And the reason why I say that is because I think I know why we always go into stoppage time. It's because when they expose stuff, meaning conveying that at the stampede, those stuff on the field. I think that's one of the reasons why that we do go into stoppage time, because of things like that.
Well,
all right, Brian. Well, I mean, they shouldn't be throwing things, but it happens all over Europe. They throw the toilet paper and stuff, and that really doesn't bother me. It bothers me when they just throw it to throw it, but when they throw it after a goal, just like when Pato, don't call me Christina Aguilera, scored the goal, did the celebration, did the Hulk Hogan thing, took off his shirt, and then he gets a yellow card. I mean, that's part of the game. That's what made soccer soccer, is the celebration, is the fans throwing things, the fun thing, the music, the fans dancing in the crowd. We got to bring that back. Thanks for your call, Brian.
Sam's going to write a letter to Sepp Blatter at FIFA to say to rescind the rule. It's a FIFA rule, Sam. You cannot take your shirt off. It's an automatic yellow card.
Yep.
Sorry. I know you want to have celebration, Sam. Well, do a dive on the field.
I think it's a little mocking, towards the other team when you kind of do something like that. I know he's happy and it's a celebration, but you got to be a little more respectful.
He tried to fool him, but he had a black shirt on under his jersey, so he didn't want people to think he took it off. Our next caller up on Behind the Net. Go ahead. What's your name? Frank, how you doing, Frank?
Hi.
Go ahead.
Hi, Sam.
Hi, Frank. You got 1 minute, baby. Let it go.
Okay, happy birthday, Sam.
Oh, thank you so much.
I hope you're going to have another 100.
Thank you so much, Frank.
Okay, about the players, we need a midfield. We're missing the midfield.
Good point, Frank. Yeah, midfield was a little disjointed tonight.
We got 2 forwards. They're running around the field, nobody behind them. Anytime when they want to pass the ball back, we don't have midfield to follow up.
I thought Kirk Wilson had a heck of a game.
We had a good game. And about the refereeing.
Yeah.
They said, I thought lady just mentioned that why our Neto, who scored, shirt up and get the yellow card.
Oh, Pato, yes.
Yeah, Pato got the yellow card.
Because that was the FIFA's rules.
The FIFA rule.
And also FIFA rules, so last 100 years, if you have a handball, that's a yellow card. How come they don't enforce that one?
If it was a deliberate handball, it's a yellow card.
Yeah.
Now, the referee didn't seem to think it was a handball, but he didn't feel it was a deliberate handball.
If somebody reach out with his hand, hitting the ball back, I don't think it's accidental.
Right.
Either he doesn't give away. Penalty shot for it.
Okay, Frank. Well, thanks very much
for the call.
Thank you, Frank. Appreciate it. Let's take a break here on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. We'll take your calls, 346-3000, 1-866-552-1009. Trivia question out there. Name one of the Rhinos who played all 28 matches in a single season. Started all 28 matches in a single season. This is the Rhinos Radio Network. Welcome back to Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. Communicate instantly with the walkie-talkie feature for up to hundreds of miles. No more voicemail and no more phone tag. It's instant contact with all the people you need. Every Nextel phone comes with a built-in walkie-talkie feature, and it works from coast to coast. How about that? Call 350-2000 for more details. Rhinos and Syracuse play to a 1-1 tie tonight here at Frontier. And Sam, we are joined by our first player guest this evening. Started in goal tonight for the Rhinos, gave up just the penalty kick goal to Rene Rivas. Great match for Soren Johnson. Soren, congratulations on a fine match tonight.
Thanks. Wish we could have kept it at 0, but, PKs are tough.
19 out of 20 times, you never know.
Soren, we're doing the same thing with our callers. You got 1 minute, baby. What did you think of tonight's game? Your thoughts of tonight's game?
I think we definitely dominated the play and took it to them. We aren't really creating a whole lot of great scoring opportunities. We got to finish the ones we get because they're valuable. I think the defensive effort was an improvement from the last few games. The heart and effort is there. It's just not falling for us right now, and we got to get back on track in a hurry.
Well, Soren, you saved the day in that one play. Tim O'Neill got the ball outside, and you were out of your net. You scrambled back and somehow were able to tip the ball around the post. I thought it was a sure goal, but it was a tremendous save, and that saved a point for us tonight.
Yeah, well, I guess if I make great plays out of my own errors, it's, what is that, like?
I didn't say it. I didn't want to say that.
That's kind of nice, though. Just want to get credit for something.
Well, no, I probably would have been better off if I hadn't dove for it, because Dave was right there behind me, and he actually cleared it off. I just got a touch to it. If I had gotten more on it, I might have put it past Dave, so it was good. He was back there covering for me.
All right, Soren, well, thank you for being part of our show here. We're kind of moving along. I know you guys don't want to talk a lot. You guys got to be devastated right now with what's going on here.
Yeah, we need the points, and, thank goodness we got one, but, all our efforts got to go into every game from now on.
Atlanta got 0 tonight, so that helped out. So thanks a lot, Soren. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Soren Johnson in goal tonight for the Rochester Raging Rhinos. Played to a 1-1 tie tonight with the Syracuse Salty Dogs. We'll be joined next in just a moment by my man of the match. Just unbelievable match for defender John Wilson. Just up and down, controlled the back, went up in the offense, overlapping. And you look so smooth tonight out there, John. I tell you, I just love watching you play. I really do.
Oh, thanks. A little bit tired in the second half, especially that rain started coming down. But, overall I felt good after, my third game back and kind of being tired. But overall I felt all right. And I thought the boys played well, just didn't get the result we were looking for. But, we still got a point, I think, which is big because Syracuse is chasing us.
So we kept us even with Syracuse, which is important.
John, we've had some callers call up and be they're disappointed that we're not scoring more goals or we're not winning, obviously. Just your thoughts of tonight's game overall.
Oh, I thought it was a good game. I thought we had more chances, and I think every team goes through it, where you're getting chances and you're not scoring. But I think the major thing is that we're creating chances. I think if we weren't creating chances, then you might want to be worried. But I think we're creating. It's going to come, and I think you also got to understand that that we're in the hunt, to go to playoffs. There are other teams that are chasing us, so we're still in a good position.
John, last question. First half dry field, second half wet field. How'd you guys adjust to that?
It's a little bit different. For me, it's a little bit different, as I try to keep the ball in and slid, but fell down. But you just got to go out there and adjust, and you got to kind of change your games a little bit. In the back, you can't really mess around with it. You got to get it up, especially on a small pitch because ball's skipping around, and you never know where they're going to land, and guys hit shots. So there's a little bit of adjustment. Made it a little fun though too. A little rain always helps to spice up the game a little bit.
You got to try ankle weights because I'll tell you, when I play in the rain, I don't even move, baby. I got the weight. Well, it's like boom, I'm right there.
Well, that's how I felt probably in the overtime, But it was a little bit different with the rain, but I thought the team handled it well.
Well, thanks for being on our show, man.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, John. Mm-hmm. John Wilson, definitely my man of the match tonight for the Rhinos. We'll take a break here on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. Still time for you to give us a call at 346-3000, 1-866-552-1009 here on the Rhinos Radio Network. Back here on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. 1-1 between the Rhinos and the Salty Dogs this evening. Let's go to Frank. Frank, you're up on Behind the Net. Go ahead.
It was a really exciting game tonight. What happened to our team that we had back in 98 through 2001, winning those championships?
What happened to them?
Yeah, it's like a different team we have than we had back in from 98 through 2001.
This is not over, though. You know, we still got playoffs coming up, and you can make a turnaround.
And
so
the thing about the playoffs is it doesn't really matter.
Everybody's game in the playoffs. Once you're in,
if you finish first, second, third, or fourth, it really doesn't make much difference. There's no home field advantage in the playoffs. You just got to get in. Okay, Frank, thanks for the call. We appreciate it. 346-3000, 1-866-552-1009. The trivia question is still out there. Name one of the 4 Rhinos who have started in every match in the regular season in a single season. And you have a chance to win 4 tickets. See the Rhinos and Charleston on Sunday. It is Rex's birthday. Let's go to our next call on Behind the Net.
Hi, my name is Greg.
Hi, Greg. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I thought it was a pretty good game. But for your last caller that said that the coach should be removed, I don't think so. The field out there was not really conducive for a lot of quick footwork out there because that's I used to play when I was a young kid, and I played in the rain a lot, and I know from first-hand experience you can't get a lot of quick, foot maneuvers.
That's a very good point.
I mean, there was one nice pass that one of the, I don't know who it was got it, but one of I think across from the left wing to the center, guy got the ball right between his legs and couldn't, for some reason he didn't, couldn't move or whatever. It was slick or something like that. He just couldn't get a quick start and get off on that.
Okay.
So, other than that,
Greg,
it was a good game.
Greg, you ever guess the trivia?
No, I wouldn't, I don't know right now because I'm kind of a new fan,
All right, buddy.
Okay, thanks for being on.
Thanks for being a new fan, Greg. We appreciate it. Want to see you out here for other matches. Thanks a lot for calling. Take our final break here on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. This is the Rhinos Radio Network. Back here on Behind the Net, Andrew Battisti, Soccer Sam, and Lindsay Andrazik. Final thoughts, guys and gals.
It was an evenly matched game, like I said before, and hopefully it will come out with a win against Charleston. It's very crucial at this point. 5-6 teams right up there in the Eastern Conference. We need a win on Sunday.
Sam?
I'm sorry about all the people trying to call in tonight, but I guess we're cutting the show a little short. I'm out.
Thanks, Sam. That'll do it for Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. Thank you very much for Bob D'Angelo, our producer at WYSL. By the way, the trivia answers, Billy Andracki, Jimmy Glenn, Lennon Steenkamp, and Bill Sedgwick started all the games for the Rhinos in a single season. Don Stevens, Joe Giuliano with the call. Thanks to all the staff of the Rhinos and our Rhino guests, Soren Johnson and John Wilson. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Our next broadcast of Rhino Soccer, Sunday night, 5:30 pregame, 6 o'clock kickoff, 6:05 kickoff. The Rhinos in the Charleston Battery. Rex the Rhino's birthday. For Soccer Sam and Lindsay Andrazik, I'm Andrew Battisti. Once again, the final score from Frontier. The Rhinos won and the Salty Dogs won. Good night, everyone.